was never whole, only fragments stitched together by guilt, by fear, by the silence of forever. Drown me in the crimson mist, where guilt and madness coexist. The light I lost, I let it die, buried beneath the fractured sky. So tear me down in flame and steel, let the pain be all that's real. This ashen veil, my legacy, a soul unmade, no memory. In silence I dwell, a ghost beneath the skin. Eyes burned by truth, I bury deep within. The ash of my name still stains the earth. No rebirth, just a memory cursed. I scream through the static of fractured dreams, a shadow of man torn at the seams. Drown me in the crimson mist, where guilt and madness coexist. The light I lost, I let it die, buried beneath the fractured sky. These hands once reached for something pure, now tremble in doubt, I can't endure. A hollow vessel built from pain, cursed to walk through fire and rain. No salvation, no peace inside, only echoes of the self I hide. Born from ash, forged in shame, you can't kill what never had a name. I was never whole, only fragments stitched together by guilt, by fear, by the silence of forever. Drown me in the crimson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fort Worth, Texas, and Texas Motor Speedway for the America 250 here at the HPRL Truck Series Season 6. On behalf of everybody at the HPRL Truck Series and veterans and affiliated networking, I'm Troy Sandy, along with Michael Alexich, excited to bring you this 167-lap affair from Texas. Michael, we had a wild one to start the season last week at Iowa, and we just amplify it here by coming to Texas. What are your thoughts as we roll into race number 2?
Obviously, a great race last week. We saw our winner, Jesse Sperling, getting the first stage win and the first win of the season there. But all that doesn't matter as we come here to Legacy, Texas. I want to put an emphasis on that for this evening. This is a little different. This is 2008 Texas. So, for all of you able to remember that far back, it's a good bit different than what you have at current Texas right now. This track drives a lot different, and it should be a lot more loose and a lot slippery as we get later into this race.
Yeah, the old Legacy Texas track has some abrasiveness to it. I know when I talked to a handful of drivers during the day today leading up to the race, tires were a constant theme that came up. Tires, tires, tires. Now, ironically enough, Michael, none of them would tell me what their strategy with tires was, but they said that tires were going to matter. As we get ready to roll off into this event, this 250-mile America 250, what do you think about tires?
Well, obviously, I think like every race we usually talk about, you want to try to take care of them, manage your runs here. But the way we have the stages set up, which we'll go over a little as we get a little bit closer. But I think the biggest thing is same thing we said last week: take care of it, don't push. If you get a little aggressive with it, it may come to bite you on the back end. If you save it, it may be able to make a big move later in that run to really give you that advantage and track position towards the end of the race.
Track position always key. Well, let's get you set up here for this evening's event here at Texas Motor Speedway. Again, 167 laps is the distance. But before we dive into that, let's take a look at how the points look after race number 1. As Michael mentioned, Jesse Sperling winning the first race has the points lead. Kevin Winker in second, Emil Duna third, Mickey Sundera fourth, Christopher Hockley fifth, tied with Taylor Locklear. Joshua Baker, Caleb Sibbett tied for seventh, Joey Creech ninth, and a three-way tie for 10th, Derek Grigsby, Jerry McKinney, and Brian Torrey. And you can see here the cutoff line, Michael, everybody's fighting to be in the top 12 at the end of the 15th point-paying race this season so they can make the playoffs. Anything jump out to you here at the points after week number 1?
Obviously, the good one, obviously, our winner last week, Jesse Sperling, has a decent lead there. Obviously, he got that stage win, got the race win overall, so obviously big for him to get the win. But big thing I want to look at is Kevin Winker. A newcomer here at first race, had a big splash and a big hello to everybody, made a great move. And also, Emil Duna ended last season on a hot streak. We kind of pointed on that. And so far, Emil off to a hot start here as he sits third in the standings.
Hot start, rolling into hot Texas. Again, let's take a look at what our race overview looks like here at Texas. 167 laps, 250 miles for the America 250. Stage 1 at lap 30, Stage 2 at lap 75, and again, rounding out at lap 167. Pit road speed, 50 miles an hour. Estimated fuel run about 45 to 48 laps. Drivers might be able to stretch it a little bit, so we'll see what it is. 6 sets of tires, so those are the set on the truck, plus 5 more, and 1 fast repair for every driver in the field this evening. And speaking of the field, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the America 250, brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Starting on the pole. Go ahead.
The 43 of Caleb Sibbett. 85, Jason Baker outside. Inside row number 2, Jared Mann in the 26, the Season 5 champion, with Christopher Hockley in the 15 outside. Starting P5, last week's winner, the 29 of Jesse Sperling, and outside the 5 of Derek Grigsby. Starting P7, the 21 of Stephen Justice, another newcomer to the league with a strong run last week, finishing results not panning out. And the 14 of Emil Duna to his outside in P8. Starting P9, the 93 of Bert Wojcik, and outside the 62 of Joey Creech, both new this season.
Got a little excited there. Starting P11, we'll go to the 12 of Chris Griffin. Outside of him, in the 12th spot will be the 74 of Brian Torrey, another newcomer. In P13, we have the 11 of Tyler Spry. And in P14, we have broadcaster Thaddeus Friel, maybe taking some practice laps out there. In P15, we have the 3 of Seth Owens, and in P16, we have the 18 of Jerry McKinney. P17 goes to the 2 of Mickey Sundera, and in P18, the 25 of James Manderud. And in P19, the 78 of J.D. Baker, and in P20, the 46 of Justin Walters.
In P21, the 58 of Joshua Baker. And Michael, are you racing as well?
Don't mind that other guy. He just likes to look cool sometimes.
All right, 21 trucks clocking in times here for the America 250 at Texas. Exciting event in store. Obviously, a lot of great things going. Guys are wrapping up, warming up. We'll get an interview with Caleb Sibbett once they start taking to the grid. But in the meantime, Michael, 6 sets of tires, 250 laps. Do you change your strategy as you're thinking about going green here tonight, or are you going to just kind of play it straight up as the stage breaks fall?
I still think the only one where I say play different is obviously the final and the second stage. I think the first stage is we like to have it as that little feel out stage, as a quick little short burst where you can just kind of get a judge on how much you can push. That's kind of like all that. I'm not going to lose anything detrimental by fading back at the end of the first stage. That kind of is your play around window. That's where all right, I'm going to drive super aggressive. I'm going to hit it hard here. I'm just going to see what sticks, what works, what doesn't work. Passing zones, passing lanes, changing up your lines. Whereas when we get to the second stage, we have 75 laps. We don't think they have enough fuel to make it to the end. We did some runs, me and you, working on our fuel numbers, and so we don't think they have enough fuel. So we should have a green flag stop if they stay green. Now, then you got to factor in the cautions. When does the caution come out? How does that affect what you feel in your car? If you're feeling tight, maybe you don't have the drive you want, then you'd be perfectly fine with the caution coming out maybe early in the stage. You want to go get some new sticker tires on, you can better prep yourself for the rest of that stage. Whereas if you're somebody maybe at the front who's been waiting for that long run to finally kick in, you kind of just hurt yourself. Now you're having to fade back to counteract what you already planned on.
Strategy's a big thing. As the trucks are getting gridded up, we're going to see if we can grab Caleb Sibbett here real quick. We'll see if we got Caleb. Caleb, you got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Caleb, putting it on the pole here at Texas. How you feeling as we head into the America 250?
I don't know about this track. I'll be honest with you. I'm really surprised that I got this van broadcasting USA themed Toyota on the pole. I'm happy about it. I don't know how long I'll stay here, but I'm going to try my dangest.
All right, well, fast lap, looking good. Anything cooking up with the teammates?
Yeah, no, we got some good strategy. We practiced a good bit this week. Jesse's going to be fast. Sister track, Charlotte, he's always good there. We had a pretty good race there last time as well. Mickey, he's figuring it out, but I think by the end here we'll see some 864 Motorsports team. I want to be 1, 2, 3. Let's see if it can happen.
All right, sounds good. Best of luck to you, Caleb. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Duno Electric pole sitter for this evening, Caleb Sibbett. All right, Michael. Time to take that deep breath. Getting all set in the formation lap here. Getting ready to go green. Any final thoughts before we drop the hammer here at Texas?
Hold on, shine those belt buckles. It's going to be a wild ride here at Texas, I feel like.
Wild ride indeed. Again, 167 laps the distance. Nice wide track, super fast. It's going to invite these guys to push it hard early, but again, tires, that's what we're going to see. What do the tire strategies pan out? Caleb Sibbett's going to be the first one to decide as he gets to lead them to green. We just heard from him all these patriotic paint schemes out on these trucks. Looking forward to the 4th of July weekend, the America 250 here at Texas. The pace truck drops off. You watch the field rolling down the straightaway. Everything's bigger in Texas, they say. Here comes the HPRL Truck Series to prove it true.
We watch on here, Caleb Sibbett's going to drive off into turn 1, holding on to that pole position, which he's worked so hard for. He's going to clear the outside line. Mahone behind him is going to stay side by side. As you see, Sibbitt's going to be able to pull ahead, and he is going to try to get into 3, enter on that high line, get down to the bottom of that white line is the line that we prefer here. Obviously, you can have that high side, but you got to be careful of a bump up there in turn 3. That will get that truck super loose and can be a little bit of trouble, especially later in this run, so we want to keep an eye on. But as we run, Caleb Sibbitt pulling away, leads the first lap. Jared Mahone starting to settle in P2 as they watch on here out of turn 2.
Caleb Sibbitt taking that pole position and leading them around as we put the first lap in the book at Texas and working on lap number 2. Jared Mann running second, and you see him starting to single file on that bottom side. Here they go, ripping away. Jared looking down low. Caleb coming down, takes a little bit of air off the front end as they dive off into the first turn.
Watch on, Caleb Sibbitt's going to try to start getting some dirty air on the nose of the 26, and as I say, the fastest lap goes to the 26 of Jared Mahone there, a 29.754. He's using probably a little bit of draft there off the back of the 43. You see him starting to shade down, trying to get the clean air on the nose to kind of get himself set up for that turn. You see the 43 comes down that late apex and is able to make it work there. He's going to get work under, gets a little tight, has to back it off a little bit. As we watch on, though, Caleb Sibbitt, still your leader, able to hold off Jared, who's trying to come chase him down. These two have actually pulled away. Another fastest lap now goes to Caleb Sibbitt in the 43 at 29.701 as we continue to run here at Texas.
Ripping around Texas Motor Speedway. Caleb Sibbitt leading the way. Jared Mann in second. Here we go. Single file there as we go farther back of the pack. We start to see some side-by-side duels. The field working hard. Again, tires go fast, conserve. They're going to run it out. Here we go. We get a good look at a few more trucks battling through. Here we go. Watching. Look at these trucks flying around the corner. The 250s all across the board. Ripping around Texas. Trying to get to that first stage at lap 30.
Yep, got to make it to lap 30. Got to make your truck last to get to lap 30 as well. Like I said, still trying to figure out what you have here at this racetrack so far. We haven't seen really too aggressive of moves. A lot of single file around this racetrack. They've been playing nice. I think they're trying to see what they have, see how it's going to behave. This track kind of lies to you. We ran some practice laps, me and you, Troy. Obviously, we try to get a little bit of practice here so we can better suit the what we're telling you here, but we didn't really feel a ton until we got later in the run. We had a huge drop off there. We spoke to a couple of drivers. They were saying the same thing. You know, the beginning of these runs weren't necessarily super slippy like we've seen maybe at some night races on older surfaces where they get super slick right off the rip. They've actually get there to where they get slick at the end of the run, where they get really slippery, start sliding around as these tires age. You know, it gets really to the end of the life cycle, they really start becoming a handful. So I want to see kind of if some of these guys maybe a little bit back here, are they pushing? Maybe they're stuck in the dirty air. How is that going to affect their cars at the end of the stage when we know it's going to get a handful towards the end of it?
Speaking of pushing, if we go back to the 58th of Joshua Baker, running around P13, a lot of action back there. Baker had to start from the back, had an EOL. You see Chris Griffin right behind him, battling hard. The 46 of Walters outside there. Burt Wojcik right behind them. Seth Owens back there. A whole gaggle of trucks working their way around. Again, pushing hard. Joshua Baker says, I'm going to surf the high side. Cowabunga, here I come.
Great move there as we watch on here, a little bit of a higher cam. We watch on, you see Chris Griffin trying to close onto the back of Walters there. Seth Owens on the bottom side there trying to hold his line from under attack upon the high side. But you look ahead, they starting to come back down. This pack keeps ebbing and flowing. They keep moving. They say you get that double wide, they'll straighten right back out. I believe that's Wojcik right there outside of Seth Owens. Seth Owens is going to concede that spot and maybe under attack for another one as we see someone get to the outside of him. But as they continue to run here, mostly single file, you see a little bit of side-by-side up here towards the front between Jesse Sperling and Jason Baker trying to fight a spot up there. Jesse Sperling's been making his way up here. Continue to climb up there. Derek Grigsby right behind him. You see a bunch of red, white, and blue here in your screen. Fast Neil truck there of Derek Grigsby. You have the Semper 5 machine of Jason Baker and Jesse Sperling in this good old classic America 250 machine right there.
Watching these battles continue to rip around. Jesse Sperling on the bottom side there. These guys are fighting tooth and nail. Derek Grigsby on the outside. All the patriotic schemes. Nobody wanting to be the fireworks. As we continue to rip around here at Texas Motor Speedway. Again, great battles as we look throughout the field. These guys are pushing hard, but also trying to conserve those tires. We're not quite to the halfway mark of this first stage yet, so they still have to be mindful of what they have left in the tank. What rubber do they have left on the truck? This is going to be exciting as we push all the way through here, stage one. We continue to watch the battle now. Up front, we start to see some moving and shaking.
Yep, you see some slicing and dicing up there. Jason Baker getting around Jared Mahone, who's starting to act. Jared Mann, excuse me. I'm sorry, Jared. Please forgive me. Jared Mann has continued to slide back a little bit further. Maybe push a little harder to start trying to chase down Sibbett and get that clean air. I think it's starting to come back to haunt him. You see behind him Jesse Sperling and Derek Grigsby still side by side trying to get that sorted out. They get it sorted out. I think they're faster to catch Jared ahead of them. They could probably make a move to get around him. They just, like I said, Jesse keeps getting the opportunity to go open up that window, and you look right behind him. You see the 62 of Joey Creed starting to close on this pack as well. So I think they're going to start getting single file, get around Jared to get themselves in a better position and not let Joey sneak up on them and get both of them when they're not paying attention.
Gotta pay attention. Lap 13 running on the track right now. Michael, we're starting to get to that stage where if you pushed hard early, you might start to feel it on the tires. If you conserve, you might start to feel good. We've seen Jared in season 5 kind of be conservative, look like he's dropping back, but then have a little bit for the guys at the end. Could he just be playing a little bit of cat and mouse? But as you said, he's starting to get pressure from behind. Grigsby, you see Sperling looking underneath Grigsby. He has guys that want to push to the front right now as they're ripping around lap 14.
Yeah, we've been watching this battle between these two right here. Everybody else kind of single file and just making pace, trying to catch back up to these leaders. This 5-6 car breakaway up here at the front, 6 car breakaway with Joey Creech being at the end of it. But we continue to see Jesse Sperling and Derek Grigsby go side by side with each other mostly around this entire racetrack. They have not gotten away from each other's door. And, I mean, we saw Joey Creech drive up to him. He hasn't been forced the issue. You see him, he's kind of lagging off back there. He's not going to force the issue on these two. He's going to keep just being patient, wait for them to maybe burn themselves up so he can try to get both of them on a move. Let's go for a 2-for-1 on that opportunity. But we'll keep watching on here as Grigsby still trails Jesse Sperling, both trying to run down Jared Mann.
Great battle brewing as we see the top 6 in that wonderful shot. As I peek on over to what's happening in the background. Consistently, Caleb Sibbett has been running the fastest average laps. All throughout this first run, Caleb Sibbett not only put it on the pole, but Caleb Sibbett has been pacing the field all the way through this first stage. But as he's doing that, look, Jason Baker slowly reeling him in. We're starting to see what looks like an even gap between the top 3. Now you see Baker pulling up close. Jared Mann is back in 3rd. Jason Baker in 2nd. Baker looking to push Sibbett. He goes to the high side.
Yep, Jason Baker starting to reel Caleb Sibbett in. He's going to push a little bit harder, try to start making Sibbett push harder to try to get him to burn a little bit more tire than what I think he wants to do. But you look behind him, Jared Mann's kind of hanging around by himself out there. He's watching on as well. And you see Jesse Sperling still trying to close the gap. So they may all be in kind of tire save mode. These two leaders maybe just running. I think Sibbett's running away. I think he knows Jason Baker's a little bit faster. Look at the gap he's closed right there. He's almost to his bumper here. Let's keep a watch on here and see if Jason a little bit higher of a line, so he's going to get better of an exit here. He's looking for the clean air. He's also going to have the advantage of getting on that higher line. He's going to have a little bit more of a run. There you go. You see him start to close on it. He's getting ever so closely there to the back bumper of the 43 of Sibbett. He's getting close, trying to set up his move. I think now he's starting to think, all right, how do I want to approach this? Do I want it to be out of 4? Do I want it to be out of 2? Do I want to do it on a dive into 3 maybe? You watch on here, Jason Baker really reeling in the 43 of Caleb Sibbett.
Jason Baker running that slightly higher line. Caleb Sibbett moves his line up, which forces Baker even higher. Hey, chat, what do you think about this? Seeing some love for Duna, seeing some love for Sperling. I see good luck, Dad. I don't know who Dad is, but I hope good luck for your dad as well. And Abby Payne, the paint schemes look fantastic. Agree. Could not ask for a better race heading into this 4th of July weekend as we watch this battle here between Caleb Sibbett and Jason Baker for the lead.
We keep watching on. I want to drag your attention a little bit behind them. We see Jared Mann has reeled him back in with Jesse Sperling and Grigsby in tow. Jared Mann, like we said, we thought he's fading off. Maybe he was just saving a little bit here for the last push of this stage. As we're at 20, we have about 10 laps to go here in this stage. But as we watch on side by side, Jason Baker looking underneath Caleb Sibbett for the pass here. Let's see if Sibbett's able to get the run and clear him back. It's going to be close. I don't think he's clear yet. You can see he's, not clear all the way. Sibbett still under attack. Jason Baker, almost a little bit of contact there in the back of the 43. Able to hold on to it, though. But you see our top 5, top 6, all in a line, all together. Now, the question is, how aggressive is Jared Mann going to be behind the 85 Jason Baker? As we see that, there he goes, diving to the inside of the 85. He's looking for his chance to go take the lead here at Texas. He's going to battle with the 85 side by side out of that corner. You see Jesse Sperling, Derek Grigsby, front to bumper there. They're going to hang with each other and wait for this battle to shake out so they can go try their luck at this. Jared Mann once again digging back into the well, diving a little bit more. Going to get a little bit of dirty air from the 43 there. You can see him drift up just a little bit, not terrible, but it's more than he wants to, so he's trying to hold on as much as he can there, and Sibbitt's going to fade back in the line here. The 43 of Sibbett diving down at the bottom. Jared Mann looking on the high line. That opens the door for Jesse Sperling. The 29 machine coming on the underneath of the 26. Got a little tight there to check out. That's going to open the door for Grigsby to come by. We just see the shuffling lap after lap. You still have 8 laps to go here in this stage. Sorry, 7 laps to go here in this stage, lap 23. Remember, stage break is at lap 30, but as we watch on, Caleb Sibbett still your leader.
Caleb Sibbett leads this 6-pack up front, less than a second, first through 6th. That's what you see on your screen right there. You see the guys moving, making moves high, moves low, trying to cover. Baker went from attack mode to now preservation mode. Mahone gets underneath as Baker gets a little bit loose, wiggles up top, and that gives Jared Mann the chance to take over P2. Here comes Grigsby looking for the 3rd spot.
Grigsby's thinking about it. He's going to take it too. You saw Justin Baker had a big stumble there at the corner. That's going to really hurt him. Grigsby's going to try a slider here. Not quite clear all the way. Grigsby didn't go all the way for it. Now Jesse Sperling behind the 85 of Jason Baker, but watch on. Let's keep our eyes on this battle here of Jared Mann and Caleb Sibbett. Jared Mann has been taking care of his truck, taking care of his tires to set himself up for this last gap effort here to go try to win this stage. But I think I saw a little bit of contact back there. Jesse Sperling got a little bit of trouble. Actually faded off a little bit there. I think he got tight there with the 85 on his outside, but he's able still to keep moving. But to take away our attention, we're going to go back up here at the front. We got the 43, the 26 faded off a little bit. We're going to keep our eyes on it here. But as you see, your leader is still Caleb Sibbett as Jared Mahone is looking to the outside, looking for a window.
Jared Mahone looking for that window, trying to get some fresh air on the front of that truck. The top 3 have broken away a little bit. Grigsby waiting in tow there in 3rd. But here we go. Jared Mann looking, goes up high. Caleb Sibbett down low. Little crossover, feed that air. We're going to watch what Jared does here coming off the corner. Caleb keeping it planted, drifts it out to the wall. Jared gets a toe down the straightaway as they dial out to the corner. Sibbett goes low. Mann goes high. Is he going to get enough of a run? He's still about a truck length off, but he's going to have the momentum. Here they come out of the corner down the straightaway.
Yep, watch the setup here going into turn 1. That's what Jared Mann's looking for when he goes up to that high line. Going into 1 is hard because you have the quad oval here at Texas. You don't really get a straight line run to turn 1. You got to do a little bit of a double turn. But you got to hang a left and hang a left at that quad oval. But this is where he just wanted to aim for. He wants to aim for that back stretch to get as much run as he can to then close in on the 43. But you see, he's actually lost a little bit there. We'll see if he's maybe Sibbett found a little bit more he can drive off with, and maybe Jared's heated it up just a little bit, trying to push him down. As you see, Grigsby's back there. He's kind of holding on to see what he can do. Maybe he can try to close the gap in a little bit behind him. Jason Baker has fallen a good chunk behind him, I believe. About a second. Yeah, about a second behind him is the 85 of Jason Baker. As we watch on, your leader is still Caleb Sibbett, the 26 of Jared Mann, trying to run him down with Grigsby trailing in 3rd.
Caleb Sibbett fought off 1 charge, gets a gap there. Now you see Jared Mann maybe falling back into the clutches of Derek Grigsby a little bit. All this happening almost a second and a half ahead of 4th place. These guys have really put on some distance, even pushing this hard. As you see, Caleb Sibbett again out to a little bit of lead. Jared Mann falling back. Ooh, a little bit of blink there from Caleb Sibbett. Little disappearing act. Gap, about 6 truck lengths, 1st to 2nd. Grigsby in 3rd as they head off into the corner.
Yeah, we've seen great battling up here at the front. A lot of movers, a lot of shakers that are coming down. But nonetheless, we have only seen Caleb Sibbett skedaddle his way from this field all stage. He's been able to stay up front, stay clean, and keep himself up there, even with a couple of different players charging after him. And we have the caution that will be the stage break.
The caution is out here at the end of stage number 1. Green to checkers here in the first stage. Caleb Sibbett leading every circuit. As we catch our breath here as they catch up to the pace truck. Michael, any instantaneous thoughts there in stage 1?
I was very impressed with how Sid was able to manage his truck up there. You saw different runs coming from different places. He was still able to hold on and keep himself up there. So obviously a good run there by him. But I think the biggest thing is we saw the shuffling going around. We saw Jared Mann go charging there maybe a little bit towards the beginning. Then he faded back. Jason Baker went for his shot. He burnt it up. Maybe a little bit of trouble trying to chase it too hard. He fell back. So I think the hardest thing is if you're going to go for the push of going to get that spot, you better be able to get it done quick, because if you heat up your tires, you're just going to lose even more than going up for that number 1 spot. So one thing we definitely have to be aware of whenever they're going to go try to start making moves for that lead or trying to chase down the car ahead of them.
We will watch it all unfold in stage 2, but first, our stage winners this year brought to you by Vickers Auto Parts. Vickers is a business of Jesse Sperling's granddad, Bub Vickers. Started up in the 50s, new and used parts for all makes and models. Priced as used, good as new. Located at 914 South Alabama Boulevard, Highway 221, Chesney, South Carolina. And they ship anywhere in the country. Call them at 864-461-2621. We're going to go ahead and try to grab Caleb here real quick. We'll see if we can get our stage 1 winner. Caleb Sibbett, congratulations on winning the Vickers Auto Parts stage 1.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Can y'all hear me?
We got you
Yes,
loud
sir.
and clear, Caleb. Every lap, how did it feel out there in that first 30 laps?
Yeah, it's going to be blocking. It's good to be up front, of course. Those guys are getting loose. You know, they can't follow the same line, and there's really only one line low if you're going to save tires. I was liking there a little bit, so Jared hopped me on pit road, so this is going to be fun, but hopefully I can get it back.
All right, well, you're doubling it back up. You got 1 degree. Just want to give you a quick shout out from the chat. Sharon says, great job, Caleb. So hopefully you can put that in the bank, and good luck in stage 2.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, your stage 1 Vickers Auto Parts winner, Caleb Sibbett. All right, Michael, we get to do it all over again. This time we get to go to 75.
Yeah, a lot different thought process. I feel like a lot of these guys, you kind of now have an idea of what you did right, what you did wrong, what to work on. But you also have a green flag pit stop if we go green here, which we didn't have a caution in that stage. And this traction is really friendly. These guys have been really patient so far. So I think we're going to get a green flag run for the entire stage. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope for it, because I really want to see these green flag pit stops and see, can you make the mistakes we talked about? Don't make the silly mistakes. Speeding on pit road, missing your box. We saw that a couple times last season, especially in the championship race, where we saw a couple of the contenders for the race win end up sliding their box and cost them 3 spots. So I'm hoping we get those green flag stops to put the microscope on these guys and see, if you do it on the racetrack well, how well do you do it when you're not racing everybody on the track but racing the time on pit road?
We will find out here as the pace truck drops off. The spurs are out. Giddy up, it's time to go.
And go Jared Mann does. He's going to lead this field clear, and he's going to lead them all into turn 1 all by himself. Behind him, you see the 85 of Jason Baker, Sibbett on that high line. A little bit of a checkup there. Grigsby behind him. You see on the bottom, you see the 62 of Joey Creech trying to make his way up there. We saw him in the stage in P6, so he's trying to make that charge, go get that track position a little bit better than where he started from the start of the race. So he's constantly been carefully digging his way up here, running consistently, running smooth. So let's watch on. But biggest thing I want to see is, of all of these top 6 we have up here, how many are going to fade back? How many are going to get themselves in trouble, burn them up on this longer stint, and end up having to go back and try to work their way back after they cool their tires off?
No time for cooling them off. It's hot here in Texas as the guys are ripping it here at Texas Motor Speedway as part of the America 250. Almost 2x2 through most of the field. Some of them have started to single file themselves out. All of this behind Jared Mann as we start to see a lot of moving up and down, switching grooves as they try to get in position. Again, fresh tires, trying to make use of it, but not push it too hard. We start to see more and more single file as they rip around here at Texas. Again, everybody gravitating to that low groove. With tires are such a big factor, you have to try to save. You have to make each move count. It has to be intentional. And you start to see that as we're watching the guys go so fast around this track. As we see Justice moving to the outside, he's trying to make some space. Again, last week he was contending for the lead, got caught up, tangled up a little bit in the corner with Duna, and ultimately wore out the tires. He told me earlier this week his focus was conserving the tires. And here we start to see it pay off. Methodically working his way through. Still about mid-pack, but we'll see what Justice can do as we start to see a battle back up front.
Yeah, we see Caleb Simmons made his way up to P2, battling for P2 right now with Jason Baker in the 85. They're both chasing down Jared Mann, who's starting to clutch back into him. We saw him his last stage, though. I think Jared takes a very great approach in conserving those tires. A lot of things, if you're leading a race, there's a bad tendency to kind of get on the gas. If you want to get away, you want to build that time behind you. You want to see that gap get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what it does is you end up maybe hurting yourself. You don't pace yourself. You just go, all right, I'm just going to run qualifying laps. I have clean air. I have the best handling car. I'm just going to go click off laps as fast as I can here. And what it does is when that tire goes out, these guys behind you are having to deal with dirty air, maybe saving a little bit more creative lines to not be so hard on the tires. Then they come right back to him. So what Jared's doing is he's going to run his race and control it with them right behind him. So controlling chaos right behind you. You see him. He's been managing well in the first run. He came back in the late of that stage to try to make a charge there. But as we watch on, we see the 85 of Jason Baker on the high side of him. Caleb Sibbett looking for the window between. I don't think he's going to be able to plug that gap quite yet. Jared Mann on the bottom. As we look up, Caleb Sibbett's going to jump up to the high side with Jason there in the 85. Jason is clear if he wants to pull down in front of the 26, and he should to try to get some dirty air on the nose. He will. Sibbett way up high on that high line, getting close to the fence to rip the wall up there. Let's see if he has a run to clear the 26 down the front stretch. He will. The 26 loses 2 in one corner. Your new leader, Jason Baker, but Caleb Sibbett's looking for his spot up by the fence again, trying to get that lead back.
Sibbett pushing the high line, trying to get back to the point. Jason Baker out front, sees it in his mirror. Again, Sibbett shading high. Baker comes up to block him. Sibbett moves underneath. And Baker's going to shut the door to come through turn 2. Great battle for the lead. All this in front of Jared Mann, who just fell back to third.
Great run there. Caleb Sibbett had the window there, and Jason Baker realized, I got to shut the air off to let you get the line you want. You see, he's taking that wide apex like you saw Jared doing in that early stage. But when you do that, try to save a little bit more tire, what it does is it opens up the entry for those guys trying to dive under the corner underneath you. So you kind of got to be careful on how much you open up that door. As we see Sibbett's going to go to clean air. He's going to get up by the fence, get ready for a big run off the corner. He's going to try to set him up for turn 3. Let's see the kind of running Sibbett gets there. You see him. He's still a couple of car lengths off. Not quite as close as he wants to be. He's going to go back up to the high line, work it some more again. I'm interested to see how hard this is working those right side tires there on the 43. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But he's still trying to run down the 85 of Jason Baker. Jared Mann sitting behind him, getting nice and comfy. But I also want to draw your attention. We have a new player up here in the top 5. The 58 of Joshua Baker has driven his way up to P5 here. And he is starting to run that high line as well, trying to close in on the 26 of Jared.
Joshua Baker currently sitting in P4 again, had an EOL to start the race, so he's had to do it the hard way, had to work his way through. We talked about him a little bit in the middle part of that stage 1, now up here inside the top 5. Again, shading Jared Mann just a little bit higher, really trying to close in. You see the good run down the straightaway as Jared Mann starting to close in on Caleb Sibbett. Jason Baker, maybe a little bit of a gap there. Jared looking underneath Caleb, shading him, falling in line. But meanwhile, Joshua Baker pushing that high line, gets some momentum. He is going to get positioned just outside of Jared as they head down the straightaway.
Joshua Baker continue to run that high line. We've seen that from only a few guys. You saw Sibbett doing a couple laps when he was side by side, but Joshua Baker's been consistently up there, headed up that groove to try to get that higher line to get the run. You can see what he's been doing. He's got himself side by side with Jared Mahone. He's going to ride it up here high one more time. He's going to try to get enough to drive off to clear Jared here. Jared Mann. I'm trying. Excuse me. We watch on here the 58 still trying to clear him here on that high line. The 58 is going to try to do it one more time here, and he should be clear. If he's not already, he's not going to snatch the car down because he doesn't want to add extra heat in those tires. There we go. You see him. clear there. As you watch on, you see Grigsby's going to try to do the same thing up on that high line as Joey Creech is starting to close on the back. Jared Mann starting to lose a couple spots, but maybe not so much losing. Maybe he's giving them away. You know, he's been very patient with his truck. He takes care of it. Maybe he's just saying, you know what, y'all go ahead. I'll see you on a couple laps when it's time to come back around here.
All of this happening behind Jason Baker. Out in front, Caleb Sibbett. And you see Joshua Baker just took over P3, pushing now. He's going to try to make a run for P2. Looks to the bottom side. Grigsby getting around Jared Mann. He is clear. He gives him a groove and shuts the door as Joey Creech looks to the high side. Now, Michael, you said it. Maybe Jared's giving up these positions. Maybe he's just hanging onto that bottom side, making everybody use their tires to work around him on the outside. Is he just being patient enough? This is a slightly longer stage. Is he holding on and just keeping the distance close enough? We're going to find out here very shortly, because here comes Jesse Sperling, last week's winner, and Steven Justice right behind him. The battle's heating up inside the top 10.
Yeah, you see Steven Justice starting to make his way up here to make some noise up the front of this field. And carry off what you said, I believe Jared is just being patient. The only thing that will hurt him is if he gets a caution somewhere in the middle of the stage where he really doesn't want it, just because he's trying to play the long run. We call him Mr. Consistent. You know, last season completed all, but I think we agreed about 2 to 4 laps, so somewhere around that range. So Mr. Consistent in his truck in that 26 machine. So he just takes it lap by lap. He doesn't really push unless he has the tire advantage and he knows he can go get the spot. Otherwise, he settles in, runs his groove, runs his lines, and he runs it the best that a lot of these guys are trying to, you know, they see the window, they want to go take it. It's hard to control yourself when you see a car going around you. You're so instilled to, I got to go get spots. I want to be higher number in this position. I want to be up there at the front, the leading this thing. But, I mean, Jared is, we consistently see it. You know, he fades back a little bit. We think he's falling off. We think he pushed too hard. When he's really reality, he's just saving running his time. And he comes right back and gets a great finish out of it. So I think we'll see that again there on the 26.
We'll see what Jared Mann can do. Joey Creech goes to the high side, but here's Jesse Sperling, last week's winner, looking outside. But we see Jared starting to work his way back underneath Joey Creech. Here comes the battle. Again, all of this happening right around that P5 position currently as we're all battling out. Currently, Derek Grigsby, P4, Joey Creech, P5, Jared Mann, P6, Jesse Sperling, P7. And you're watching all those positions change just as I rattle them off and they go down the straightaway.
Yeah, you see Jared got a little bit aggressive there, trying to keep Sperling from getting straight onto his door. I don't think Jared wants to lose too many spots because he doesn't want to get caught in that dirty air. But you'll see Jesse Sperling's going to have the run of the high side. Creech is on the bottom. He's going to shut off the air of the 26. The 26 is not where he wants to be. As you see 3 wide, maybe forming, not quite yet. Keep an eye on that as you see the 58 still running the high line. He's actually starting to fall back to these guys. So I think Joshua Baker pushed a little bit too hard there on those right side tires. And he's starting to come back into the clutch of these guys. You saw Creech get in front of the 26. He's going to shut off the air, try to get Jared tight and not let him be able to roll that corner as much as he wants to. Sperling on the high line. He's going to try to get the bumper to the 58 to push him ahead so he can clear and shut off the air. Creech, everybody's going to try to get themselves back down to that bottom line. They're going to start saving those tires. We haven't had really any chaos. We haven't had any, you know, sketchy situations where we think we're going to get a caution here. So you got to take care of these tires. If you go pushing up here, like you see the 58, I don't think he's going to be able to hold on too long just with all of these guys. I mean, there's 4 cars side by side. I say that Emil Duna is now on the scene here with this pack, but they're trying to get around him. He's done well trying to hold these guys off, but Jesse's eventually going to get the run. As I said, here it goes right here. He's going to dive underneath the 58, shut off the air to the 62. You saw him get tight, some fire in the pipe, just letting off the throttle just because he gets tight by taking the air away from him. The 58 is going to get passed by the 29. The 26 is going to try to set up to do the exact same thing.
Jesse Sperling says, I'm going to do a little Walker Texas Ranger and just bust his way through the bottom side to get around Joshua Baker. Now Jared Mann looking to the outside. Joey Creech, Emil Duda right behind them. All of this, again, happening behind Jason Baker, your leader, with just about a 0.2 of a second lead up front as we start to see more pressure. Derek Grigsby joins the battle. Sibbett, Grigsby, all chasing down Jason Baker.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much Jason Baker had been running. You know, we tried to get a huge eye on this because we were trying to focus on the battles on that racetrack. Oh, Caleb Sibbett almost got into the back corner of the 85. He didn't dump him. He checked up and went up the racetrack. Sibbitt had that run there. He could have made a move. As we see him, he's going to block him down the straightaway. Coming down a lane and a half. Here comes the 43 back to the point. Caleb Sibbitt, your leader. He's going to throw that dirty air all over the nose of the 85. Let's see if he holds on to it. Oh, a little bit of a wall tap, the 43. Here comes the 5 of Grigsby now. Grigsby up to the outside. He should have a little bit of a run here going into turn 1. That opens the door for Jesse Sperling to catch the leaders now. Caleb Sibbitt on the bottom. Jason Baker stuck on the high side outside the door. Jesse Sperling with the cleanest air up on that super high line. He's going to come down, get behind. More wall tap. Oh, contact. The 85 up in the fence. Jesse Sperling gets a little bit of him as he comes back off the wall. Jesse Sperling's trying to get away. He's thinking, get me out of this. I want to keep it clean. He's trying to hold on. Now he's going to look under Caleb Sibbitt, who had a good smack at the wall there. We'll see if maybe he broke anything near the end of the stage, but definitely a hit there for the 43 of Sibbitt. As we watch on, Grigsby takes the lead. Sperling's going to try to battle out for P2. Jared Mann on the bumper of the 85. Now Sibbitt now holding on for dear life up on that high line, trying to not give up too many positions, trying to get back to the 29 of Jesse Sperling, but Grigsby's pulling away as he takes the lead.
Grigsby, the benefactor of 180-mile-an-hour bumper car down the straightaway, but everybody keeps it straight. Well, mostly straight. We're sliding a little bit, but Jesse Sperling also up to P2 again. Last week's winner, starting to try to track down Grigsby. Caleb Sibbitt got it all collected, settles into P3. All this happening at the front of the field, but meanwhile, right behind them, you start to see some more battle. Jared Mann coming back.
Oh, we got a spinner.
Jason Baker. And we got a caution out. Oh, heading into the corner.
I believe the 15 of Hockley was involved in that. Let's see if we can catch a replay on that. Watch on here. You see the 15 of Christopher Hockley underneath the 93 of Bert Wojcik. They drive on here. The 15 on the bottom. The 93 up on that high side. Let's see if he's able to clear him here. Maybe trying to throw a slider. Not quite. They come to the front stretch. Heading into turn 1 side by side. Still clean. Rolling into turn 1. A little bit of a bobble there from the 93. He's going to be on that high line. He's going to try to get in the throttle as soon as he can. Christopher Hockley coming up. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Hockley came down a little bit as the 93 came off the wall. Maybe a little bit of a contact. Maybe got a little bit tight. Try to see if we can get a better view here from the cockpit. The 93. Here we go. Get a better view a little bit further back. So you'll see right here riding on board with the 93 machine. You see Hockley right there starting to come over. Realizes it's not clear. Comes up just a little bit. The 93 trying to keep away from the wall. You know, you don't want, sometimes that wall just sucks you in and throws you into the wall. So he's trying to get away from getting sucked into the wall and just catches on that right rear quarter panel there of Christopher Hockley. And Christopher's just along for the ride at that point.
Our first caution here at the American 250 at Texas Motor Speedway. We get one more look at the replay. It's a great chance for us, though, to pay homage to our sponsor, Jiffy Lube. Again, Jiffy Lube, the title sponsor of the HPRL Truck Series here in season number 6. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania is proud to support grassroots racing and the sim racing community. We provide fast, reliable automotive maintenance to help keep our customers on the road with confidence, from oil changes and inspections to preventative maintenance and vehicle care. We're committed to quality service in the Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania communities. Just like racing, vehicle maintenance depends on performance, reliability, and attention to detail. We're excited to support the HPRL Truck Series and the drivers, teams, and fans who love motorsports. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Leave worry behind. As we ride around here under caution, we see the field starting to get reset. A little bit of moving and shaking. We'll see where everybody files back in, but maybe a strategy call here, Michael. Justin Walters on point.
Yeah, we're going to try to see if we can get the last pit stop lap. There we go. You have a little timing tower there for you. You'll see that Justin Walters stayed out on that last caution. He last pitted on lap 32, which was our stage break. So he's going to stay out, go for that clean air that we keep talking about. Everybody else besides the 25 of Man Road all the way back there in P17 was also another one to stay out. But everybody else went and pitted for those sticker Goodyear tires. So we'll see how Walters is able to hold on up here. It's going to be a handful with a 30 lap difference at a track we said can be a handful when everybody's on an even strategy. Much less you're going to have to push really hard to get away from these guys on these sticker tires.
The pace truck drops down. The right foot's dropping down. These guys are going Longhorn. Green flag racing back at Texas.
Back to green. Let's watch on here. Let's see how the 46 is able to hold off the charge from the 43 in the first corner. That's not what he wanted to do. He didn't want to open up the door for the 43. Siva's going to go through. The 5 of Grigsby is going to try to do the same as well. Not clear yet. You see Walters had to get to the bottom line, try to shut the air off the 43. Those two clear. Walters, whoa, big slide up there in the turn 3. He's trying to hold on for everything he's got. He's just bleeding so many spots. It's hard to fight when you're that much off pace. We just look at a run there. Jared Mannix just clears him down the front stretch right there. Drives it off into 3. So the 46 has no tire to hold on. He's going up there. He's got to be careful going up there in those marbles. Those marbles will get that truck loose. He's got to make sure he doesn't get too high and get that truck loose. But you'll see him. He has made it way on back now to 13th after that strategy call to stay out there. It didn't quite pan out like you hoped, but what that did is it gave the lead back to the 43 of Caleb Sibbett, who's back on point here, our stage 1 winner.
Caleb Sibbett back up front. I think Justin Walters took advantage there. Only 7 laps left in the stage. I think he said, I'm going to get a bonus point for leading a lap, and then I'm going to get out of the way. I think he got to the high side, let the guys go through. He knows he gets to get fresh tires in a handful of laps. As long as he keeps it clean, he's not going to go a lap down. All right, so 6 sets of tires. They started on 1 set. Stage 1, they got a 2nd set. Those that just pit now, they're already on their 3rd set of tires, Michael. We're not even to halfway. They're going to have to be thinking strategic here. Now, they take tires at the end of stage 2. That's only going to leave them with 2 sets. It's going to become a factor. But right now, the factor is Caleb Sibbett's trying to win both stages. Derek Grigsby has other things in mind. And oh, by the way, Emil Duna says, I want a piece of this pie.
Yeah, we've been watching on. I was just about to say, if you didn't cover it, Emil Duna's made his way up here to P2, looking for P3. He's pushing hard. He knows it's not long in this stage. He can go run it hard here, and to piggyback off what you said a second ago, I'm not mad at the Walters call there, as well as James Vanderwood. They have that extra set on the wall they can use later in this race. Obviously, these guys aren't going to go pit, but the other two are, and they're going to have about let's just throw some numbers in my head here real quick, about a 10 lap advantage on tires on their side just to start the 3rd stage, on that final stage. So I'm not mad at the call at all, especially when you have that extra set on the wall that you can use a little bit later, and then have that at the end of the long run that we've been talking about. He's got to make sure to take care of the truck. Don't hurt it when you start to fade back here, all these fresh tires. And when you do get the stickers, don't take away your advantage early. As we watch on, Sibbett starting to pull away as Grigsby and Duna still trying to get it figured out on who wants to be P2, but Sibbett pulling away here near the end of stage 2.
Caleb Sibbett pulling away. James Vanderwood might say that was a bad strategy. Unfortunately, Michael, he's disconnected, so I think we got some technical difficulties for James, so strategy to the side. His night looks like it's over, as well as Mickey Sundare. We did not call it out during stage number 1. Mickey also disconnected. So 21 trucks took the starting grid. We're down a couple here as we run this evening. But all of this, again, all reeling out behind Caleb Sibbett, as we only got a couple more laps left in this stage. And then the big dogs come out for the final stage, the long run to the finish line. But again, as we run to the end of stage 2, Caleb Sibbett, Derek Grigsby, Emil Duna, Joey Creech, all up there pushing for the lead.
Yep, they've all been pushing each other back to single file, which is a common thing we've seen so far tonight. Get single file, try to close on the guy in front of you, and then when you want to, you can start making your move. You see our top 6 up here: Caleb Sibbett, Derek Grigsby, Emil Duna, Joey Creech, Jason Baker, and Jared Mann, all running in single file like they've done for most of the inning. But we also have one of our very own out there, Thaddeus Friel, out there in the 198 machine, out there trying to roll some laps out here for the van crew as you see him try to close on the 26 machine there, but behind him is a fall off of about a second and a half all the way back to P8, which is Steven Justice there in the 21 with Chris Griffin trying to get around him on this outside. As we watch on here, we're going to see the 29 of Jesse swirling behind them. Jesse was a contender in that first stage, fell off a little bit, had a little bit of trouble, but he's still rolling on strong here. Going to try to rebound later. With Jesse, we've seen has good long run speed, tries to stay consistent, tries to take it easy, doesn't try to kill the truck there. You watch on this little pack of 3 right here, and behind them a little bit further back, about another second. We go to the 93 of Burt, the 3 of Seth Owens, and the 11 of Tyler Spry, all hanging around each other back here. They're trying to round out the field, but all eyes are on the front as Derek Griffey's starting to get a little bit closer. As I say, he falls off a little bit there, trying to work their way up into the 43, but keep your eye on Emil Duna. He's ready to make a move, and he will make it as Joey Creech goes to the outside of Duna here in turn 1.
Best thing Caleb Sibbett can see as we get to the winding laps of stage 2 is 3 trucks battling behind him for P2. Again, Grigsby holds the spot. Now Joey Creech up to 3rd. Emil Duna falls back to 4th as he's setting up a run. Creech looking underneath Grigsby. Grigsby wiggles as they go through the corner. Who's going to get the exit as they come down the straightaway?
Joey Creech is going to try to get at the quarter panel, get the side draft off the 5. There you go. You see him, draws them side by side. Now he's going to try to ship it off here in the corner. Oh, a little bit of contact there going into turn 1 and 2. Grigsby 62 there, still fighting underneath the 5, trying to make every run he can. The 14 of Duna behind these two. They're trying to do everything they can. Joey Creech is going to keep trying to manufacture that run as we're running out of time here at the end of stage 2 as they'll come around for 2 laps to go, excuse me. Derek Grigsby still holding on for P2, and your leader, Caleb Sibbett, 6/10 away now.
Caleb Sibbett stretched it out. We're going to watch this battle of 2nd through 4th here as we wind down stage number 2. Grigsby holds it pretty comfortably down. Creech up the track. Duna looking back underneath. Duna going to try to get the run. Side draft a little bit of a gap as they head off into the corner. He dives it onto the bottom side. Duna digging for that salt on there. Here he comes. Is he going to take P3? Creech on the outside. Duna on the inside. Duna, Creech as they come down to the line.
I think Creech got him, and that is our stage break. And Creech did get him, I believe. Yep, I believe Creech got him there. Creech P3 there, but your winner, stage 2, stage 1, maybe looking for a sweep there, the 43 of Caleb Sibbett.
Caleb Sibbett, your Vickers Auto Parts stage 2 winner, sweeping the first 2 stages. Heck of a run there for Caleb. Restarted that stage P2 and got bumped back a little bit, but worked his way back up to the front. Heck of a run for Caleb. Again, Vickers is a business of Jesse Sperling's granddad, Bub Vickers. Started in the 1950s. New and used parts for all makes and models. Priced as used, good as new. Located at 914 South Alabama Avenue Boulevard, Highway 221, Chesney, South Carolina. And they ship anywhere in the country. Call them at 864-461-2621. Vickers Auto Parts, proud sponsor of the stages of the HPRL Truck Series. All right, Michael, as they hit pit road, gives us a second here real quick to think about what is in store for this final stage.
Yep, we've seen it all as we get to this final stage. It's going to be about a 90-lap run to the ends. We've kind of been increasing in increments of about 30 for each stage. We started with 30, we went to 75, which is an addition of 35. I can't do math. 45, excuse me. As we watch on here, we're going to have 90, so you're going to tack on around another 30-ish more. So now you got to ask yourself, all right, you're going to have about, we deemed maybe 3 to 4 sets of tires on the wall, and you're going to try to split the stage into thirds, or you're going to try to do it in half. How do you want to play it out? What works best for your call? What works best for your truck? But the winner off pit road is going to be the 43 of Caleb Sibbett.
Caleb Sibbett wins the stage, wins the race on the pit road. Let's see if we can get a hold of Caleb here real quick. Caleb Sibbett, you got a copy on us?
Yep, I got you.
All right, sir. You did it once, you did it twice. A little Texas two-step those couple stages. Second one, maybe a little bit more action than the first one. How you feeling?
Yeah, no, it's a fight to get to the front, no doubt about it. The arrow walking is insane in this race. So if you're behind the truck, you're going to beat the tires off. I was slinging it high, low, in the middle. I expect them to do the same right here. So it's a fight for the lead. Whoever's in front with 10 or so to go, there's no way you're passing any trucks here.
All right, well, I know you guys are getting double file back up. Sharon said kind words the first time. This time, Tony says Caleb number 1. So your cheering section's rooting for you. Good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, your Stage 2 Vickers Auto Parts winner, Caleb Sibbett. And before we go back green real quick, let's talk about veterans and affiliated networking.
That's right. Glad you mentioned it. Obviously, us here at Van are very happy to wish you all a happy 4th of July here this weekend. Happy 250 years to the great place we call home here in the United States of America. With that being said, though, does anybody have any questions? Please raise your hand. Are you wanting to get into iRacing? Maybe come hop in the booth and chat with us sometime? Maybe want to dabble around and make a couple of USA schemes yourself? Maybe have a few stars and stripes on the side of your truck, your car? But we got news for you. Us here at VAN, that is VAN, Veterans and Affiliated Networking. We are here for anything and everything iRacing for veterans and first responders. As we said, when it comes to broadcasting, graphic designing paint schemes, or driving itself, we are here to help you get yourselves in to do whatever you are hoping to get out of it. If you have any questions, please send an email to veteransandaffiliated@gmail.com. Or please drop a comment or anything else in the YouTube here for the comment section. We'll gladly get you some information, anything out to you. And just remember, get in the van.
Get in the van. Don't walk. Don't run. Put the loud pedal down. Caleb Sibbett had some company with Joey Creech on his rear bumper. Here we go to start stage number 3 in Texas.
Joey Creech has been making his way up to this field. He's had better starting position every time we've gotten to another restart. So no surprise to see him as he continues to run higher and higher. He's going to get cleaner air, which is going to make him drive better. But I do want to point out, emphasis, Troy, the first 2 weeks, we've seen 2 new faces already starting to make some splashes. Last week, we saw Kevin Winker starting to make his name made. Is this the race maybe start looking at the 62 of Joey Creech, trying to think, what does he bring to the table against some of our runners from last season? If he's going to keep trailing on Sibbett here.
New faces, new storylines. What makes the season, the HPRL Truck Series, is going to be full of excitement all season long. The things that they have in store the rest of this season are going to be great. As we have a spin. We got a spin in the back of the pack.
They're still green. That's the 74. Brian Torrey going for a ride there. Try to see if we can catch a quick replay real quick before we don't miss anything here. We're going to watch on here for the 74. Oh, got tight, got off the nose of the 85 of Jason Baker there. It's going to send him down there into the fence. Not quite where he wanted to be headed. Let's try to see if we can get one more view real quick before we take you back to green flag race. You see the 85 there on the bottom side, trying to get the exit here, looking underneath. The window opens, he takes it. The 74 kind of holds his group a little bit lower, not going all the way up to the wall. The 85 just kind of expects him to goes up a little bit more, and that ends up getting the 74 on over into the fence.
Into the fence is not where you want to be on a big, fast Texas track, but we're still under green. Everybody kept it rolling, so great job of everybody continuing to move forward. Unfortunate situation for Brian Torrey, but great sportsmanship to keep it rolling, and nobody's happier right now than Caleb Sibbett out front. Look at these top 3, Sibbett, Creech, and Grigsby, really starting to put a gap. Back there in P4, you just talked about him a little bit ago. Jared Mann just biding his time, kind of all by himself, just rolling the bottom side, not pushing too hard. We'll see if he has something to dial those guys up front back in. But again, all this happening behind your leader, Caleb Sibbett.
Yeah, we've seen great racing out of these 3 up here at the front of the field. Caleb Sibbett, Jared Grigsby have been around each other all night. Joey Creech has fought his way to have his shot up here at the front. As we look on further back in the field, great racing, 2x2, passes all over the place. No one really able to quite get single file. You see this little pack of about 5 right here. That's the 12 of Chris Griffin, the 198 of Thaddeus Field, the 58 of Joshua Baker, the 21 of Stephen Justice, and the 18 of Jerry McKinney all huddled around each other. back here in this little pack of the field, all trying to fight for their spot to be around P10. I'm sorry, up to P8. Seth Owens there ahead of this group is P8 right now. So these guys all battling between 8th and 13th right now, but we've seen some great racing so far.
Great racing indeed. Joshua Baker outside of Thaddeus Friel. Michael, we saw Baker use the top side. I see some smoke in front of them. We'll see if everybody's still going. Looks good. We saw Baker use the high side before and then kind of fade back. Do you think he has enough to run him down and keep it there this time? Remember that high line?
I mean, considering how long the stage is, the only way I can see him pulling it off is maybe he's going to split this thing into 3 sections, just because we saw how hot those tires got in about a 40-lap run in the last stage. So I don't know if it's necessarily a tactic that I would want to go with, just because he hasn't made up a ton of ground yet. Obviously, he's in dirty air trying to fight for every spot he can get, but I just think it's a bottom group racetrack. Yes, you have to be on a different line to get the clean air, but I mean, consistently, we've seen up front, those guys barely move off the line, even if that means following for a little bit on the bottom of the track here, just biding your time.
We got a new leader. Joey Creech gets around Caleb Simmett for the front. Joey Creech leading here at Texas. Grigsby to second. Simmett back to third.
Wonder if we had a bobble there we missed out of Caleb Simmett. Maybe we'll have to try to go see if we can rewind, try to figure out what happened there. But as we watch on, your new leader, the 62 of Joey Creech, leading his first laps here in the HPRL Truck Series. Behind him, the 5 of Derek Grigsby, continuing to just keep his head down, keep hitting laps, try to reel him in and stay right to his bumper, not let him get away like they saw Simmett drive away from him a little bit there.
Joey Creech, creeching up inch by inch, gets to the front, leading laps for the first time in the series, like Michael said. But Grigsby does not want that to last too long. He's pushing hard. He looked down low. You see Creech shut the door. Grigsby slides up the track. They're in tow. Nose to tail, down the straightaway, heading off into the corner. You're going to see Creech putting it just a groove off the bottom. Grigsby doesn't hug the bottom, but drifts it back down the middle of the corner. Creech blocking some air there, Michael. He's putting on a better blocking clinic than the Cowboys.
Definitely so. Definitely roping his way around this Texas track here as Grigsby's trying to find that little window that he can make it work. He's been following guys for most of the night up here at the front. We saw him following Caleb Simmett there for a little bit. We've seen him follow. He faded a little bit further back. Grigsby's kind of learning how to be the dirty air. He just hasn't had the window to where he can get away from it and get around it. He's been continually trying to get a little. You see him trying to get a little bit lower there than the 62, just trying to get a little bit lower to try to get that clean air on the nose to help him rotate that truck on the bottom. And actually got a little bit of ground gain there, but he's ready to try to go get the clean air and see how it feels in front of this field. He's tired of chasing these guys down. You saw him get tight, having to slide it up a little bit there, which brings Caleb Smith right back to him.
Caleb Simmett roping him back in, like Michael said, in P3. These top 3 got a good almost 2-second gap back to Jared Mann. Jared just hanging out, chilling back there. Jesse Sperling now around Jared. Look at these guys, 2 groups of 3 hanging out, setting their stage. Emil Duna, we saw him up there just a little bit ago. He's with this second pack of 3. Everybody setting their strategy, pacing themselves. Michael, I'm guessing we don't have this much of a speed disparity between the groups, so this has to be a couple, 3 different strategies playing out. What do you think?
I believe they're all on the same strategy tire-wise. I think they're all different ways on how to approach driving this race truck. So we've seen Jared takes his time, very methodically charges his way back up at the end of these runs, and I think that's the best thing for Emil doing. We've seen Emil kind of get up there at the front. He gets a little aggressive trying to run that car down. I think it's a good thing to find your spot. Find somebody to really pace yourself off of. And Jared's been one of the best at pacing himself through runs to get his truck at the end where he needs to be. So I think this is a great move by Duna. Being back here, he may not want to be back here, but I don't think it's a bad spot for him to be in. You follow Jared, you can follow Jared all the way back up. Jesse Sperling, same thing. He's been consistent most of this race. We've seen him kind of just log in lap, continue to run his race. So these 3 are kind of on that long run. We're going to take care of it and make it count towards the end. And up here at the front, these guys are doing the same thing. They just ticked up just a little bit more on the push factor, trying to get each other to go a little bit faster, keep trying to push that tempo ahead of these guys to try to get up to that lead.
The way I saw Grigsby do-si-doing down that straightaway, I'd say they're pushing just a touch, maybe each other, maybe themselves. But the gap between these top 3 is very narrow. Less than 3/10 as you see Grigsby look down low. Simmett goes up high. Creech can't cover everything. He's going
He's
to
on the
partially shut the
apron.
door. Excuse me, down to the apron, all the way down to the bottom.
We saw Creech actually blinking a little bit there, starting to lose him a little bit there. He's going to actually calm down. Grigsby's down at the bottom. He's on the preferred line, but now Creech is getting attacked by Caleb Simmons on the high line. Simmons going to get a big run to the corner here. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he's able to close on either one of these. He's going to have to pick which one to help. You saw Creech blink there again. Sibbet's not gonna necessarily trust it if he can't see him to go give him a push. So Sibbet's gonna dive under, then blinking again. A couple more blinks there out of the 62 machine. Sibbet's now underneath him, trying to follow the 5 of Derek Grigsby. You know, he can clearly see that Derek Grigsby is there. That's the one problem if you have the internet little disconnection, that little lag. You see Creech right there, a little blink disappear in and out. That you want to trust and help a guy. This is especially very difficult on super speedway tracks. But here's the same thing. You know, if you run that higher line, you're going to get the run down to try to give a little bit of an air push to the guy in front of you. And if Civic can't see, he can't judge when to try to time it up to give him the best push down these straights and make it work. That's going to let Joey Creech fade on back. He's not going to get the bumper of the 43. We'll see him continue to dance around here to the network. We have to make sure he doesn't get pulled into the pits for having maybe too bad of a network connection. We have to keep an eye on that. But your leader, the 5 at Derek Grigsby, gets around. He's on point right behind him, the 43, looking once again, trying to go get that position back.
Grigsby on point. Sibbett back to P2. Joey Creech running so fast, iRacing can't keep up with him. Leading his first laps, now settles back into P3. Meanwhile, when we look at what's going on, Jesse Sperling's leading that second group we were just talking about. They've now closed down to 1.2 seconds. They were almost 2 seconds behind before. They've almost cut that in half. You see Sperling, Mann, Duna. You can now see that front pack almost within reach. We might have a 6-pack here in a matter of a few laps. Only on lap 98 of the 167 marker we're chasing here in the final stage at the America 250 at Texas Motor Speedway.
You'll see there on the bottom, that's the distance between fourth place of Jesse Sperling and the last of that front pack, the 62 of Joey Creech. This group behind him trying to run him back down. You see Jesse's a little bit ahead. He's continuing to try to pace himself a little bit faster than Jared Mann. Mann's still just biding his time, doing it behind them. Also doing the same as well about the lead. You see Grigsby's got a little bit of a buffer there. He's been holding on to it nice and steady. We see these 6 trying to catch each other and try to all get back together, but behind them you get out of P6. It's a big drop off, about 4 seconds, all the way back to the 93 of Bert Wojcik, who has actually made his way up to the front of the pack behind the leaders here. Actually have a little bit of truck slow on the surface there. There's a 74 of Brian Torrey coming back out. We got that truck fixed up with that fast repair. He's back out on track, but he is 18 laps down. As we watch on, like I said, Bert Wojcik, your P7 right now, with behind him the 198 of Thaddeus Friel and the 21 of Steven Justice, now looking to the bottom side of the 198. He's going to have the run to try to clear off Thaddeus here as they roll out of turn 2. Not quite. Thaddeus is going to try to hold him off here on the run to the high side. You see the truck behind the 3 of Seth Owens trying to looking for the window to open it up so he can go make his move there. As we watch on here, 21 should try to do a slide jump into this corner, maybe. Yep, you see the 21 clear there, the 198, and Jason Baker trying to fight his way back up there. He is rounding out your top 10 there in the 85 machine.
Friel back to the bottom side of Justice. Justice just completed the pass. Friel gets down low. Justice not going to fight him, saving that truck a little bit of a wiggle. Baker's there. Ooh, Baker down to the apron. Good save.
Hold on to it.
Ooh,
Hold on to it.
Still sliding it. That is not going to make those tires happy as they go off into the corner. Ooh, Baker. Oh, bottom to the middle groove. Seth Owens says, go ahead. I'm going to go underneath you. Let's just settle down and keep on trucking.
85 riding a bucking Bronco there, trying to hold on with everything he can there all over the track there, able to hold on to it. He's falling in the back now. He lost his spot there. P11, you see the 15 of Christopher Hockley. He had trouble a little bit there earlier in this race. He's brought his truck back up there. He's trying to charge his way back up to the front. But as speaking of the front, we have seen that Caleb Simmons actually pulled away back with the lead, and that has put Grigsby now behind Creech. As Creech falls back into P2, Grigsby now looking back under the 62, trying to get that position back, but not far behind is the 26 of Jared Mann, who is not far at all from trying to catch these leaders up ahead.
Jared Mann got around Jesse Sperling, and so did Emil Duna. So some shaking in this front 6-pack. Sibbett back to the point. Creech second. Grigsby looking underneath. Grigsby looking underneath Creech as they go side by side. Creech with a slight edge, but Grigsby's going to have the preferred line as they go into the corner. Jared Mann close it in. Top 4 now together, and 2 more behind him.
Yeah, you've seen so far great racing. Jared Mann, like we said, starting to reel him back in. We're going to get a little bit of an in-car ride on here. We see him slicing and dicing around. You saw him have to counter steer that truck to not get that thing loose. You saw when he pulled it under, it had a little bit of almost like a tilt. These trucks are a little off balance whenever you start to wiggle them down the front stretch. Almost a little bit of a hop between the left front and the right front. I'm sorry, the left front and the right rear, a little bit of almost like a tip effect. So you had to see him kind of regather that truck and get it calmed back down. You see him trying to close on. You see how low he is compared to the 62, who's a group higher. See what Creech has to do. He can stay on the screen for us. He had to come down just a little bit more. He has to shut off the air on the entry. You see shutting off the air in the middle of the corner, it really starts to help the car in front of you because then you start to give him a draft. But you see Creech is trying to get the wide apex, work that truck down. He's also trying to stay out of the dirty of the leader of the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. And what it does, it opens up that door for that 26 machine to edge ever so closely. You see, this is a nervous drive, I'm sure, for Jared Mann. He can't see that 62 trying to make a pass underneath him here. He's going to be underneath the 62 machine of Creech. He's going to try to complete that pass, even though he's still blinking a little bit. There we go. Got a good view side by side. He's there for right now. Jared Mann can see him. He's going to drive down here into turn 3, picking up P2. Like we said, consistent. He's been running great lap times. Brought this pack up behind him with him. You see Emil Duna back there behind Grigsby. He's brought himself up there. Jesse Sperling fell off a little bit. He's still in the back end of this 6-car breakaway, but they're still pulling away from that group behind him of Burt Wojcik. It's now the 6.3 seconds of a gap between these groups.
A lot of excitement as we continue to watch Grigsby looking underneath Creech. Creech all the way up to the wall. Grigsby to the bottom. Duna's coming through. Knock, knock. Who's there? Emil Duna. He's going to make a run behind Grigsby. He's going to try to slide up in front of Creech. He thinks better of it. Side by side. Still there. Duna pushing the bottom side. All of this happening inside your top 5.
We went past pit road right there. The 58 of Joshua Baker off pit road. He is 3 laps down, so he is not taking a, I think, on strategy call with what he wants to be strategy-wise there. So he's a couple laps down. We saw him pulling off pit road. As we watch on, Jesse Sperling's going to take a look underneath the 62 of Creech here. I think Creech burnt his stuff up a little bit. You see he's falling back at this pack of the 6 we've been talking about. Jared Mann starting to try to chase down. Creech going to have a little bit of a fight back here with the 29 Jesse Sperling. Jesse Sperling got clear. There he goes. See him clear here. He's going to drive it off here into turn 1. Still throwing some dirty air on the nose of the 62 machine. The 62 kind of has to get a little bit lower on the entry, try to get that clean air on the nose to drive that truck a little bit better there. 29 still lost a little bit of ground, though, trying to do that. He lost ground ahead of him to the 14 of Emil Duna, who's trying to reel in the 5 of Derek Grigsby. All the while, they're all chasing the man we've been talking about all night, the 43 of Caleb Sibbett, continuing to lead here at Texas.
Caleb Sibbett on point. Jared Mann back to second. We saw these two battling a little bit earlier in stage number 2, lap 111. We should hit pit window around lap 120. They can go a little bit further, but 120 probably puts them in the window to feel comfortable. So now it's going to come down to how does your truck feel? Do you want to be first to pit road? Do you want to run the tank empty? How bad do you want those tires? How many sets of tires do you have left? These are all the things these guys are calculating while they're ripping around here at Texas Motor Speedway. Caleb Sibbett, Jared Mann, Derek Grigsby, Emil Duna, Jesse Sperling, Joey Creech, Burt Wojcik, Christopher Hockley up to P8, Stephen Justice, Chris Griffin, your top 10.
Watching on here, we see most of this track has consistently been single file line. You can see up here on the big cam, not much has changed. Watching on back here in 12th with the 85 is Jason Baker. You look ahead in that camera, I mean, it is single file all the way around this racetrack, even up to our leaders. You watch on here, that's right there in front of you is the 14 of Emil Duna. Ahead of him, the 5 of Derek Grigsby, the 26 of Jared Mann, the 43 of Sibbett. I mean, not really anybody side by side. Everybody realizes, all right, this is going to be a tire save race. I just got to go take care of my tires. But you can see what happens when they get those stickers. Watch on here. We're going to see the 58 go driving through the field on those sticker tires. Remember, he is 3 laps down right now. So he just is going to go run as hard as he can, go put those tires to use. But you can see how much of a speed difference it is. We're going to watch him start to run down our leaders here ahead of him. Right ahead is the 14 of Emil Duna here, and the 58 machine is all in his way around this racetrack as he'll start to catch the pack in the lead.
Joshua Baker on fresh tires, and it's got to be a weird feeling for these leaders. hey, we're in the top 5. There's somebody a lap down coming around us like we're standing still. You see Grigsby almost gets surprised by it as he shakes down low, but him and Duna give Joshua Baker plenty of room to get back around. And now Duna's going to try to follow around on the high side. Duna's going to try to make a move on his own.
Duna's going to try to make a move, work here on the high line. He's got to be careful. He got close to that wall. He didn't get it, but he got close. He's got to get closer. Try to get on the quarter panel there at the 5, not let him get clear here as they go into turn 1. Duna's going to fight hard. You see that truck wiggle just a little bit there on the entry. Still holding on to it strong. The 14 to 5, battling it out here. They go. Good run there by Duna as they're going to drive off here. As actually, as I say that, Jared Mann's going to go for the lead here underneath the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. Jared Mann, we've talked about him all night, being consistent, running his own race, and it's paid off. He now takes the point from the 43 machine.
Jared Mann out in front. Caleb Sibbett tucks in P2. Great battles here in these 2 packs. Duna looking underneath Grigsby now for 3rd. Duna, he's sliding it up a little bit. Not clear. He's going to still have Grigsby to his outside as they come down the straightaway. Whoa, Texas is a wide state, but you're using only instrument here. Oh, Grigsby with a bumper to Duna. Hard battle through the corner.
Oh, Duna thought he was going to shut off there going into the corner. Griggs said, I don't quite think so. You had a close call down the backstretch. I let that one go. I'm not going to let you get 2. Grigsby fighting hard. You can see he's going to try to get back underneath Duna here going into turn 1. Duna doesn't close the door all the way. Brings the 5 a little bit closer. Not able to roll up to him all the way yet, but the run should go to the 14 here down the backstretch, excuse me. We're going to watch on the 5, maybe looking for a shade. Here it goes. He's going to go for the dive move. Not able to get there. You see fire in the pipes. He let off the throttle. Behind him, you see the 74 of Brian Torrey. He is 18 laps down, so he's also a lap car. Oh, contact with the 74 there into the wall. Trying to get ahead of Steve, maybe a little bit too great off the corner there of 4. He got a little bit of wall contact, choked himself back up. But Duna is clear of the 5. He will continue to roll on there in P3. And as I say that, Jared Mann's pulling away from Caleb Sibbett. Got a 6/10 gap between the 2 of them. You can see right there, Jared Mann's pulling away with his consistent lap time.
Jared Mann in the points. One of the biggest gaps we've seen so far this evening as he gets around Caleb Sibbett. Duna in 3rd, like we just saw him passing Grigsby. And meanwhile, Jesse Sperling sitting P5. But I also want to draw your attention to P7, the 15 of Christopher Hockley. Been biding his time. We haven't talked about him a ton. Saw him go for a little bit of a ride earlier. Able to keep the truck relatively in one piece as he's in a tight battle through the corner. He's got Burt Wojcik there. Ooh, here we go. Hockley hanging back. Going into the corner. And outside, I can't see
that
the
is
number.
The 11 of Tyler Spry is not showing up on his truck. We'll have to try to get that addressed. But that right there is the 11 of Tyler Spry who is going around right there. As we see him there in P16, he is 2 laps down, so he is not battling for position.
Tyler Spry getting through there as we go back up and we take a peek at Jesse Sperling. Jesse Sperling, again, cruising around. Last week's winner, currently in P4. Jared Mann up front, Caleb Sibbett 2nd. Emil Duna. As we start to see pit stops, Michael.
Pit stops. Let's watch on here. We're going to ride aboard the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. Let's see how clean he does his stop here. Like I said, we talked about it. I wanted this green flag stop. I want to see, do you make the mistake that's going to hurt you later in this race? Don't make a silly mistake here on pit road. Don't speed. Don't slide the box. As we saw right there, Jesse Sperling had to back up just a little bit to get back into his. Not too bad of a slip, but just enough to have to back it up just a little bit. Caleb Sibbett's right side down. They're going to see the left side lift up here on this truck. You see the jack drop. Make sure they get out nice and clean here. Sibbett and Sperling down and away. Back to the racetrack they go. But your leader cycling out the 14 of Emil Duna to the lead.
Emil Duna up front. He's got a 6.5 second lead over Chris Griffin. So Duna getting those important bonus points for leading a lap. As we see, he's now going to make a trip down pit road at 50 miles an hour to get his service done. We'll see where he cycles out compared to everybody else. You know, Michael, sometimes staying out is great for leading a lap, and it looks like you have a huge gap when you make the move, but the time that you give up, the speed differential on those fresh tires to those old tires can put you farther behind when you come out. So it'll be interesting to see where Duna cycles out after this pit stop.
It is. I definitely want to keep an eye on it. We're going to try to pull up the timing tower here to kind of show you who's pitted, who hasn't pitted yet. We're going to pull it up right here. There you go. So everybody who just pitted should be around lap 123. As we see, Duna 123, Mahone 122, Grigsby 119, Thibbett, Sperling, McKinney, Hockley, Wojcik, Baker. A couple more still having the 3 of Seth Owens, who will now take over the lead. As you see, the 12's going to pull on the pit road. A lot of these guys maybe staying out there, like you said, to get that little bonus initiative there for leading the lap. No harm. If you already were in a great spot to begin with, you're going to go ahead and stay out there. You're going to lead your lap and probably try to either hold out for a caution or go ahead and come to pit road. But these guys that are staying out super duper late are going to hope for a caution to come out. That way they can get the caution, go pit on pit road, and have the advantage there.
Hope is not a strategy, is what we always say. We've had one caution, one natural caution outside the stage breaks here this evening, so we will see how it pans out. As you guys see the pit ticker that Michael was talking about, you can see Grigsby short pitted. He went 119. Creech might have actually went even shorter. He went 114. I don't know if he can make it from there, but we'll see. 119 though. Grigsby and Justice, I noticed, were kind of the short pitters of that group. And then everybody else was kind of 120 through 124, which is kind of the window we were expecting. So we will see which strategies play out. But right now, Seth Owens on the point. He's going to hit pit road to get his service, and that will hand the lead over to Justin Walters.
Oh, he spun on the pit road. The 3 goes for a ride as he goes into the pit lane. No, it's not what you want to do. Obviously, he was already staying out late for strategy, hoping for a caution anyways, but you don't want to compound being back that far already anyways by sliding on the pit road. The 3's going to get it back straight, but not what he wanted to do there. But as you saying, your leader, now the 46 of Walters, who will inherit the lead here, he still has yet to make his stop yet, as well as the 198 of Thaddeus Friel. They have both been staying out here hoping for that caution to come out, but they're getting closer and closer, maybe needing a fuel stop here at some point soon.
They're going to be getting close. We saw Justin stay out earlier and lead a lap and then kind of get out of the way, so to speak, when the fresh tires are coming bailing through. And here he is pacing the field at Texas in lap 127 as we see a couple trucks move to his inside. He's going to concede those positions. He's not trying to push anything. He has a 7.8 second lead over Joey Creech as Thaddeus Friel also hit pit road. But then if we look at the gap between second and third, Michael, Joey Creech to Jared Mann, there's about 6.5, almost 7 seconds between those two as they run right now. So when Justin has to pit, that's really what we're going to watch. Can Creech make it to the end, and what does that gap look like between him and Jared Mann?
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see. You can see right there on our timing tower, Creech pitted at lap 114, Jared Mann went in 122. So an 8-lap difference of lap, and as I say that, here comes your leader. Justin Walters is going to come down on pit road. Going to make sure to get down there nice to his box, nice and clean. He's going to hand it over to the 62 of Joey Creech back out in front here at Texas. But as I was saying, as you saw, the Creech pitted 8 laps earlier than Mann, so he had the advantage of getting those sticker tires on and able to run laps before Mann went to go get his set of stickers on. So he's able to make up some time before Jared dipped in there. But the question is Jared going to have enough on the back end of this run to bring him back into focus where he wants him?
Nothing like seeing strategy playing out here at Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of different antics, a lot of different tactics, kind of like everybody trying to figure out a Jerry Jones off-season trading plan. But all that doesn't matter right now to Joey Creech because he's back out in front leading more laps here at Texas. Again, Jared Mann now takes over P2, Derek Grigsby P3, Caleb Sibbett P4, Jesse Sperling rounds out your top 5 after the cycles.
Well, I definitely did not have a little bit of cowboy shade throwing on out here today here in the Lone Star State, but we'll definitely take it. You never know what you're going to get up here in the booth with you. You got to keep us on our toes. But as you see right here at the bottom of your screen, Joey Creech 4.1 seconds over Jared Mann. You can see it's quickly shrinking. Jared is running very good lap times. He's already brought it down to 3.9, about 0.2 of a lap. We'll keep watching on here. As you look right behind him, you saw on the bottom of that screen is Jared Mann leading the pack behind him. He's holding on for everything he's got. He's going to keep running those nice, consistent laps here as we get to about 35 laps left to go here in this race. So they're starting to get, winding it down here, starting to get to the last little bit of, all right, this is where you went good. This is where you didn't go quite so well. We see a little bit of a battle behind this group. Lead us to 5 of Grigsby, the 3 of Seth Owens, who is Still a lap down, so he's got to go chase down Creech to go get his lap back. He'll go around the 5 of Grigsby, who was on the lead lap in P3.
Owen's trying to get his lap back after some pit road excitement that he was looking forward to. But again, watch this gap. Watch this ticker on the bottom of your screen. Joey Creech and Jared Mann. The 8-lap difference on pit strategy. You can see Mann closing in on that gap. Now, Michael, we've talked all race long when we were mentioning Jared about how he's patient, how he's consistent. Is he going to have to push a little bit harder here to get up to Joey Creech? He can't wait too long, otherwise all the good might be out of those tires.
Well, I want to highlight what we heard in our Stage 2 interview for the 45th Caleb Sibbett. He said if you get to that 10 lap to go and you're behind a truck, you're not going to get around them. And I think Jared, obviously, I don't know if Jared has a broadcast up. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I think he knows that. I think he knows I have to get in the clean air while I have this tire advantage before it kind of levels off and evens out. Now, the way that can help Jared, even if he starts to abuse a little bit, is if Joey Creech looks in his relative and sees that gap is shrinking too, and he starts trying to push a little bit harder. Because if he starts pushing and hurts his truck, then it's only going to compound for him. He's going to have those older tires than Jared, and then he's also going to hurt him in the process, which is only going to make it easier for Jared, man, to get around him. So gap has shrunk a good bit. We've been watching on here for about 4 or 5 laps. It's already down to 1.3 seconds. So, I mean, he is reeling him in a hurry. Actually, for the first time, you see Joey Creech pulling away a little bit there, actually up to 1.4, but you'll see Jared try to reel him right back in. We're watching here ahead of us on the screen is the 5 of Derek Grigsby with Caleb Stewart right behind him. Emil Duna, this is 3rd through 5th, all hanging around each other. I believe Jesse Sperling is also behind that group. He is, so this is 3rd through 6th, I'm sorry, all hanging around each other. Once more, single file line, taking care of those tires, trying to bide their time so that they can go run down this man right here, the 26 of Jared Mann, who's starting to reel in the 62, who is now under attack from the 3 of Seth Owens. Seth Owens trying to get his lap back. He's going to dive on under there, and he'll keep moving on.
Creech out in front, but Jared Mann is closing in all the way under half a second. Jared's going to be on his bumper within a lap. Is Creech saving, or is he struggling? Jared closing in.
In a hurry. In a hurry.
Oh,
in
Creech
a hurry.
ducks down low. Oh, big move. Jared to the outside. Creech along the bottom. He's got nothing for him. Jared slides it around the outside and says, I'll see you in Amarillo by morning as Creech hits pit road.
Creech is hitting pit road. This is very curious. I wonder if he's trying to split this into 3 stages. He knows he has about 30 laps left here at the run. I wonder if he's going to try to go make a late push here, but it's going to be hard. He's going to, I don't think anybody else has gone that route of pitting this late. I'm just looking at the ticker you still see here on your left side of your screen. No one is kind of around that idea to go ahead and go pit, which explains maybe why he's pushing so hard. And that was only, see, he pitted lap 114 last time. That's 24 laps, so it's going to be 30 laps even when he comes back out. He's going to try to push and run down Jared Mann.
No more battle between Creech and Mann as Mann has the point now, and Grigsby is taking over P2. Emil Duna P3, Caleb Sibbett P4, Jesse Sperling P5. That group Michael was just talking about now all trying to hunt down Jared Mann. But they've got some ground to make up as they're almost 2 seconds behind. So as they battle side by side, Jared can just cruise around, pick off those laps on the bottom side. It's just a Sunday drive on a Thursday night for Jared Mann right now. But these guys want to fight for it as we see Duna looking underneath Grigsby, holding it down low. He's pushing a little wiggle off the bottom. They're going to be door to door to come up corner.
Hold on to it, Abel. Don't lose it yet. Oh, you see, everybody's scattering around back here. Sperling maybe got loose, trying to get away from maybe what he thought was going to be a spinner. Sperling that one at the 43. Now looking to the bottom behind Sibbett. Grigsby up on that high line. Duna got a little bit aggressive there. Got a little bit tight off the corner. Had to pay for it. As you see Sibbett actually fade on back there. He's back behind. Never mind. Jesse Sperling's still fighting with him there. Grigsby's going to try to get back to the 14. Maybe he didn't like so much being bumped up just a little bit out of his groove, but Duna's going to have to run as fast as he can. He's still got to make up some time to Jared Mann, who is still 2.4 seconds ahead. I believe he is pulling away, trying to look over here at the clock. I'll try to see if we can get that graphic back up for you between the leader and this pack right here. But right now, P2 goes to 14 of Emil Duna.
battle side by side, really intense, really aggressive. It allows Jared Mann to chip away farther. He gets stripped away. Last season, they ran at Texas, the new configuration, not Legacy Texas like today, but Jared Mann was your winner. So Jared, no stranger to victory lane here at Texas. But here we go, lap 142. You're watching the battle for P2 through P6. As I see Grigsby get a little bit loose, Sperling up to the wall coming down. This is getting exciting. Simmett looking to the outside.
Oh, just he's really a little bit of wall contact there out of 4. It's not what he wanted to have happen. Obviously, he was having such a great run. Now he's going to fade back behind the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. And Sibbett maybe a little bit of a breath of fresh air. He got back around the car he's having to worry about dirty air with the 29 of Jesse Sperling, but he's still got a lot of work ahead of him to go run back down to 2 ahead of him. As you see the ticker there on the bottom, Jared Mann is managing that gap. I think he's still watching. I think he has his relative up. He's watching the gap. It's been bouncing around 2.3 to 2.4. He's not pushing super duper hard to kind of go kill those tires off, trying to save a little bit in case they try to make a push at it, but he's holding consistent at about 2.4 ahead of the 14 of Emil Duna.
This group still seeing if they can track Jared Mann, but again, right around 2.5 seconds. Maybe bumping that fluctuation up just a little bit. Again, going to lap 167. That's only 23 laps away. Gonna be 22 laps away here. So we're getting close to go time. You referenced that interview with Caleb Sibbett after the second stage. 10 laps, that's where the go point is. As Sibbett's right on the back bumper of Grigsby. There is no room for give and take now. It is all go time here in these battles.
Yep, definitely tight racing going on here, and I want to bring your attention. I think we have an issue with the 62 of Joey Creech. I'm watching over here on the timing. I believe he's currently 2 laps down. I don't see him on track. Yeah, we're not picking him up. I think he may have had either internet trouble, maybe he wrecked himself out, but he's no longer on track. Joey Creech, an early race leader here in this race, he is currently out.
Joey Creech, a victim of a packet loss. Just reconnected. We might see him get back in here to finish out the race, but unfortunate after a strong run. Saw the ultimate pit strategy. Meanwhile, Caleb Sibbett has gotten around Derek Grigsby. Now Jesse Sperling looking to get around Grigsby as well, as Duna starting to pull away in P2. All of this behind the leader, Jared Mann, as we click away the laps here at Texas.
Ooh. Close racing there with the 5 and the 29. Jesse Sperling trying to get anything he can there on that left rear quarter panel of the 5 machine there, trying to find any bit of air, he can, a little bit of a clean window that he can get there. But Duna, like I said, Duna loves seeing these guys battle behind him. He's able to pull away a little bit, about 4 tenths ahead there of the 43 of Caleb Sibbett. But he's not making any ground on the 26 of Jared Mann, and Jared Mann still managing that gap at about 2.3, 2.4. It's been holding steady for the past few laps consistently. Emil Duna obviously doesn't want to force the issue, because then he'll get swallowed up by the 3 cars behind him doing the exact same thing he's doing. They're kind of just waiting out, still kind of take care of their tires. They're running out of laps, but there's still plenty of time for them to get in trouble if they go try to push too soon. So I'll try to wait. Maybe we get about 17, 15 to go. Maybe we'll see these guys try to ramp it up a little bit more, try to close a little bit. As I say that, Duna actually made up a little bit of time there, down to 2.1, headed back towards 2.2.
Duna trying everything he can to reel in Jared Mann. Jared Mann just focused on hitting his marks, clicking off the laps. Nothing in front of him, no pressure directly behind him. Just as I say that, there's a truck coming off a pit road, no problem. As we get a great view here of Jared Mann, you can see the gap looking down the straightaway, heads off into the corner, continues to run that low line. You can see the field trying to reel him in. That's what's chasing him. That's what's going to get him, if anything is, here at Texas. Ooh, all the way down to the grass. As it comes through the quad. Very, very low line as Jared is clicking off lap number 150.
Very nice for Jared there to go ahead and do a little bit of landscaping for these guys. So far, he's had a busy day, but he's up at the spot where he wants to be. He's up the front, leading this race there in that 26 machine, a sight we've seen a couple times last season. Obviously, he's hoping to have it there at the very end of this race tonight. We look back here at Duna, still about 2.1 behind. He's closed the gap a little bit, not making huge leaps on time, but still holding steady there around his time. Sitting behind him, about 6 tenths off of the back bumper there of the 14. You'll see him as we pan this camera over here in a second. There he goes, the 43 back there. with the 5 of Grigsby still right behind him, and Jesse Sperling's actually fallen off a good bit behind this group. Now, obviously, we saw him have a little bit of wall contact earlier this run, and obviously didn't. Maybe he hurt the truck a little bit. Maybe he just pushed it a little bit too hard trying to run these guys down when they were all trying to battle around with each other. But as we still run, you have Jared Mann, your leader, Emil Duna P2, and Caleb Sibbett P3 with Grigsby right behind him.
Top 5 separated by about 4 seconds, and then it's 4.5 seconds from P5 to P6. Jason Baker running P6, Christopher Hockley P7, Bert Wojcik P8, Chris Griffin P9, and Justin Walters P10. So that gives you an idea of where the top 10 are sitting here this evening as the laps are winding down in Texas, coming around to 15 to go. All of this behind Jared Mann, about 2 seconds ahead of Emil Duna. As we see, Duna's closing the gap a little bit, Michael. Every time he closes in, he kind of levels off, maybe drops a little bit, and then he closes a little bit more. But now he's under 2 seconds. Is Duna pushing too hard, or does he have enough left to get to Jared? There's not a lot of laps left and a 1.8 second gap.
There's not a lot of time, but just because I don't think he's making huge leaps, I don't think he may push it to her. I think he's trying to do that patient approach of maybe I can push a little bit more in the corner. As I said, he loses a little bit of time there. He's got, like I said, it's a fine line of push a little bit harder and over pushing this car, especially here at Legacy, Texas, where it really eats up the tires like we've seen all night. But as you watch on, Emil Duna still 1.7. Excuse me. Emil Duna still holding on to that coattails there of Jared Mann, but he's not making up enough time, I think, to really get what he wants. I feel like right now he needs to be trying to aim for a 10th a lap, because that'll be 17 laps. We only have 13 to go, so I don't think he's getting the time he needs to go reeling back in.
Watch the ticker on the bottom while we watch this battle here of 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's not 5th on the screen.
That is not.
Lap truck coming around. But you see Caleb Sibbett in P3. Behind him, Derek Grigsby. Again, not fighting pressure tires coming off the pit road. Everybody trying to nurse it here to the end. Everything they have has been left out on the track. It's going to be hard to push and make up that much ground. So kind of settled in. Maybe people are going to try to steal 1 or 2 more positions before the end of this thing. But most importantly, they just want to make it to the end. As we see Stephen Justice coming off pit road there after getting some service done. But again, Jared Mann, Emil Duda, Caleb Sibbett, Derek Grigsby, Jesse Sperling, your top 5.
The great racing we've seen all night around this group that we keep talking about up here. Emil Duna still hanging around that 1.7 range. I just don't think he's making up the time that he needs to have to go wheel down Jared Mann. So we'll see. Maybe Jared has a big stumble. Maybe Jared's truck falls off a cliff. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But as for right now, we keep watching on. Emil's going to hold tough. We keep seeing this battle between the 5 and the 43. Grigsby keeps trying to get any bit he can to try to catch Sibbett there for P3. Sibbett's just been so well at blocking the air and keeping himself up there. We'll see if the 5 can try to grab the air off the 58 to get him a little bit closer with some assistance. But continuing on, you see that the 43 still running strong there in P3.
Caleb Sibbett holding on to that last podium position right now. Derek Grigsby would love to take it away from him. Again, all of this happening behind Jared Mann, your leader, and Emil Duna in second. They've kind of checked out. Duna not catching Mann. Duna maybe keeping the gap on Sibbett. So we're going to watch this battle here for 3rd at the moment while the laps wind down. Again, everybody's spread out throughout this entire track here in Fort Worth. A great race here at the America 250. As you see Grigsby look up high, has to try something different. Is he going to get pressure from behind? Justice Fresh Tires
got on
coming
the wall.
flying on through.
So the 5 get a little bit of wall there out of 4. That's really going to hurt him. It's going to space these 2 back out and just leave Sibbett with plenty of room to kind of just manage himself towards the end of this race. We'll see if Grigsby has enough to try to run him back down. I don't think so. Just so late in this run, it's going to be so hard to try to manufacture ground, which he was struggling with already. As we continue to watch on here, you see the gap with Duna there, still 1.7, holding steady, not making any more ground, actually losing a little bit as it starting to creep his way back up there on the ticker, working his way back up the wrong way for Emil Duna. Around the field, not much really going on there. Everybody's kind of just hanging around, a lot of single file. You see right here, we got the 85 of Jason Baker all by himself. You got the 15 of Christopher Hockley and P7 all by himself. Not really a ton going on around the field here. Everybody kind of spaced out. It's in their own little groove, single file like we've been for most of the night.
Everybody cycle through. You know, you called it, Michael. The green flag stops. We're going to create some interesting dynamics, and that's where we are. Everybody got their pit cycles in, and they kind of cycled out, and everybody fell into the groove. And now we're spread out all around Texas Motor Speedway in the waning laps. Again, out front, Jared Mahone. He's going to be down to just a handful of laps here in just a moment. But everybody content to just get it to the end. Again, even gaps between them. No major battles on the track at this time. All 11 trucks on the lead lap are pretty well spread out. We do have a handful of trucks a lap or more down, and you've seen some of them come flying through with fresh tires. Again, everybody fighting for position. Every position means points, and points matter at the end of the regular season. Only the top 12 make the playoffs. So that's what these guys are fighting for. They want to be in the top 12 at the end of the season. So one position today could be the difference about making the playoffs or being on the outside looking in.
Yeah, we'll have right here rounding out our top 10, the 46 of Justin Walters. We saw him stay out late there earlier in this stage to try to lead that lap and get those extra points. He did, and right now he's brought himself back up to a 10th place finish, which is going to be a good day for points for him. Obviously not a great day. You want to be a little bit higher, try to get as much as you can, but a good day there for the 46 of Walters, and he's going to ride around here in P10 with really no pressure behind him. He's 4 seconds ahead of right behind him, the 18 of Jerry McKinney. Jerry McKinney there, P11, trying to run him down. We'll see if he's able to. But other than that, your lead still for the 26 of Jared Mann. Even though Duna's actually made up a little bit of ground, he's up to 1.2. We maybe called it off a little too soon, Troy. Maybe has a little bit more in the tank for him here.
I think Duda might have something in the tank, but I don't think time's in his favor at this point in time. As we're on lap 164 of 167, Jared Mann out in front. Duna trying everything he can to chase him down, but 1.4 seconds with just a couple laps to go, 3 laps to go. Going to be a tall task. I know he's going to get everything he has, but right now he's got to chase down Jared Mann out front.
Yeah, see Duna having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic. They're going to play nice, try to be around him without hurting him in any way. Duna's still 1.3 off here as we get ready to head towards the last couple laps of this race. Duna's going to try everything he can to make this thing stick, try any trick he's got in the book to rope this thing around and get any time out of the truck that he hasn't found yet. Your leader still Jared Mann leading the field. Caleb Sibbett sitting there P3. Grigsby 5th. Jesse Sperling up round off your top 5. But all eyes are right here on the 14, running down to 26, trying to get any momentum left as Jared Mann's going to be coming around here to take the white flag here in a second.
As we're about to wrap up here in Texas, one thing to note that we did not talk about last week when Jared was gone was Jared joined Emil's team this season. So this is a teammate 1-2 on the track right now. So it might be one of those things where it's good for the team regardless of who wins as the white flag comes out. And Jared Mann is 1 lap away from his first victory of season 6.
White flag, stage 3 dominance. We saw Caleb Sibbett dominate this race early, but everything here in this final stage has been the 26th of Jared Mann. Took care of his truck. We saw to watch. We saw him fade a couple times in this race, and not so much fade. Just took his time, took his patience, and it's all paid off here. 26, your winner here for the America 250 at Texas Motor Speedway.
Calculated stage 3 for Jared Mann. A heck of a run out front. Caleb Sibbett dominating stage 1 and stage 2. And Jared Mann says, I will take stage 3. Sibbett comes home 3rd. Emil Duna bringing it home P2. While Jared gets ready to burn it down here and take a much-due victory lap, we're going to take a break before we get to our post-race coverage.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, we're back at the conclusion of the America 250. We will get our top 3 interviews here in just a second, but first, let's give you a full field rundown of tonight's results after 167 laps. Jared Mann taking home the win here at Texas. Emil Duna second, Caleb Sibbett, P3. Derek Grigsby, Jesse Sperling, Jason Baker, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Christopher Hockley, Chris Griffin, Bert Wojcik, and Justin Walters rounding out your top 10.
And P11 bring it home, the 18 of Jared McKinney, P12 the 3 of Seth Owens, P13 the 198 of Thaddeus Friel, P14 the 21 of Stephen Justice, P15 the 11 of Tyler Spry, P16 the 62 of Joey Creech, P17 the 58 of Joshua Baker, P18 the 74 of Brian Torrey, P19 the 25 of James Manderud, and P20 the 2 of Mickey Sundera.
That wraps up the finishing order here from the America 250 at Texas Motor Speedway. And with that, we'll bring in our third place finisher from this evening, Mr. Caleb Sibbett. Caleb, we get to talk to you 3 times tonight, but I'm guessing this is not the one you wanted to be talking about right now.
Oh, I'm fine with it, guys. I mean, I did not like this track going into it, so 2 stage wins and a 3rd place. Got the pole. I might have led the most laps. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Well, it was a heck of a run, Caleb. You know, like you said, sitting on the pole, winning those 2 stages. What was the difference in that 3rd stage compared to the first couple?
Yeah, I should have practiced on pit road entry. I lost a little bit. I timed it good though. Me pitting caused Jared to, of course, pit the next lap. If I was just a little quicker, but I'll try to comb over that stuff. This lead's so clean now, and even the guys that have joined it, there's really no cautions throughout, and so we're running the 3rd stage all the way out. So just gotta reevaluate that, save a little bit more tire moving forward, and then pit road entry and exit. Add the first or the last pit stop. You'd think I'd do a little better, but I'll get them next time.
Well, nothing wrong with the top 3. Michael, what do you got for Caleb this week?
Caleb, obviously a great race. Obviously, obviously you said you didn't like it here. So obviously a great day, great points day for you. 2 stages, bunch of laps led, so a lot of bonus points there. So I think the first thing I want to ask you is, how do you feel about your position so far? Obviously, we're only in the 2nd race of the season, but do you feel like you're kind of maximized what you can do with your skill set and where you want to be so far this season?
Yeah, no. We've had a lot of talent here at HPRL. A lot of guys that have joined up. They started their own teams. Emil's a test to that, even joining Jared. They've been practicing a lot, I'm sure. So them finishing 1 and 2 shows that we here at 864 need to practice a little bit more, get the team involved, and just put in the work. But it's fun. It's competitive. This has got to be the funnest lead on iRacing. We need a crowd of 30 or 40 next time.
Yes, sir. Obviously, we're trying to get you some more out here as much as we can. But looking ahead, you're changing paces of a good difference here, going from the good banks here at Texas to a real flat track. You're headed to the Brickyard. How do you feel headed to Indianapolis?
Unfortunately, I'm going to the beach next week, boys. So I'll be missing that. But Jesse Sperlin and Mickey, if I had to choose a winner, it's going to be one of those. The 29 or 2 is going to get it done. They'll give me a shout out when they win. I expect those boys to finish 1 and 2. I'm going to go ahead and put my money there. I think I'll fill out my little in-season bracket there for it.
Good call. And don't forget, you can also try to claim one of those 2 drivers on your fantasy sim racing lineup that is available to you as well. If not, please ask one of these guys to get it to you. Caleb, we're going to hand over the mic to you for any shout outs or sponsor plugs that you would like to shout out here.
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. They sponsored this event. They do a great job. We had some awesome sponsors this year, Vicker Auto Parts. I repped Van today. I hope I made y'all proud. I know y'all do a good job there in the booth, and hope it was cool seeing the 43 up at the front and win a couple stages. Sorry I couldn't get it done at the end, boys, but we'll get them next time. And thanks for all y'all do.
Well, awesome job. Congratulations again on the podium finish, Caleb, and enjoy your week off at the beach next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your P3 finisher, Caleb Sibbett. And with that, we're going to bring up the runner up from the America 250, the 14 of Emil Duna. Emil, 2 weeks in a row in the broadcast booth. How you feeling after a couple top three finishes?
Well, can't complain. I know last week I was a little more upset at, finishing second, but this week I felt like I had a chance to get Jared there, but it just didn't, pan out. We had to burn our tires up when we had pitted, and it was just really hard to pass, and the air was, super tough on, the trucks. So when you were trying to pass somebody, it if they held you down on the bottom line or whatnot, it was just really hard to get by them. So you had to kind of be creative with your runs, but definitely can't. I'm not going to complain this week. Two weeks in a row, actually 3 weeks in a row with the finish of last season. So way better than I started last season out. So I'm happy to get second, and obviously happy for the team to get a 1-2 for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Big off-season signing, bringing Jared over to the team. Obviously, he wasn't able to race last week. How do you feel? Him taking his first win of the season, team 1-2, like you said. It's got to be a really good way to start the season as a group.
Yeah, Jared, and I mean Chris, and also Seth. We're all really helpful. And of course, Jared won a championship last year, and it's been strong every season that we've had that he's been a part of. So it's a lot of fun to race with him. Of course, wish that I took the victory, but to have him come back and give we were kind of working in practice there with some pointers, and I'm not very good with being receptive on information. But when he kind of said, a little bit about my line, I tried to change it up a little bit, and I obviously got to follow him a little bit through the race. So again, it was a great night, and like you said, definitely happy to get a 1-2.
Awesome. Michael, what do you have for Mr. Duna this week?
Well, Mr. Duna, obviously, congratulations on another podium finish. Second place. You know what they call that. We're not going to say it here on the air for you. I'm just going to let that simmer there. Love to mess with you a little bit. Looking ahead, Troy covered most of what I had. Looking next week, you change out the higher banks here at Texas to a real flat but fast track at the Brickyard. How are you feeling on your skills there in Indianapolis?
I think we got a good shot. I think as a team, I know last time we were there, Chris won. Chris Griffin won. So uh, hopefully we can, just bounce ideas off of each other, and hopefully, get some good finishes. I don't quite remember where I finished last year, or 2 years ago when we did Indy, but I do like the track. It's just a rhythm track, and obviously, if you break your rhythm, it's just hard to uh, just be consecutive with your laps, and that's going to be the big thing. So as long as we can all do that, I think we'll have another strong finish. And like I said, hopefully next week we can get one spot better.
Well, hopefully, we look forward to seeing you try to break through there. Congratulations. We're going to let you have the mic here for your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure my girlfriend and Violet were watching tonight, so appreciate them, guys. Work coworkers might have been watching again. I so appreciate them if they were watching. Of course, thanks Vickers Auto Parts for the stages, Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill for our, obviously series sponsor. And thank you to you guys for doing a good job on a great job on the broadcast. And appreciate everything you guys have done for us. And like I said, hopefully we can obviously keep the racing exciting and give you guys something to talk about every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, your P2 finisher, Emil Duna, and he talks about the running there, Michael. One natural caution throughout that entire race, that entire third stage, no cautions, full green flag run, which brings us to the America 250 winner tonight here at Texas, Jared Mann. Jared, first of all, congratulations on your anniversary last week. I know you weren't able to join the guys in Iowa due to that, so congratulations there. But then also congratulations on a heck of a run here at Texas this evening.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that was a fun race. Glad it played out the way it did. I was hoping for the long run. That's where I felt I was strong, and that's what I got at the end. So
Long run indeed. We saw you close to the front, both stages, but not at the front. Maybe gave up a few spots to conserve. You got that long run in the third stage, no cautions. It came down to clicking away the laps and pit strategy. What was your strategy of how to attack that third stage with that long green flag run?
yeah, so the first stage, it was only 30 laps, so I saved, just to kind of get a feel for how other people would be able to save and would they be falling off really bad, and was able to kind of work my way back up and get behind Caleb. Kind of stopped there, didn't have enough tire differential to get by him. Really easy to aero block, and Caleb was doing a great job in the first stage, just dumping air on me and getting me tight, and just wore out my tires trying to get around him. Just trying to learn different lines for later in the race to see, if I got in that situation again, how would I get by him. Um, yeah, then second stage, just my short run speed, pretty much everywhere is pretty subpar compared to a lot of guys in the league, and it's not my strong suit. So with that caution that only left like 15 laps left, I was running running as hard as I could to see if I could make it to the front to get some stage points and have a better start for stage 3. But I think it was Jason. Jason, I think, was in front of me, and he was doing the same thing as Caleb, just doing a really good job, putting dirty air on me, get me tight. Just couldn't really get a run on him because we all had the same tires. We were all running hard. Coming into the third stage, just wanted to be consistent, be patient. I felt like in the first couple stages, everybody kind of ran their tires off. Um, and I thought if I was just, patient, didn't push it, let people pass when they were being aggressive, and just run my race and, see where it lasted, once we had to come to that green flag pit. Um, I got in front of Caleb and got like a second gap. But it was hard to pass him and Derek, right before that. So I knew as soon as Caleb pit, I had to throw it into the pits because I didn't want him to get in front of me again. And then coming out of that green flag pit, I ran a little harder than I wanted because I didn't want Caleb and Derek and Duna to get in front of me. Thought it was worth more to waste some tire early, and keep a gap, then I felt like I'd have to waste more tire if they got around me, trying to pass them. So luckily I was able to keep them back, and then just started taking away laps. Towards the end, like I burned up a lot at the beginning of that run. Like I said, trying to keep Caleb and Derek behind me, and Duna was catching up pretty fast. So it's getting a little nervous there at the end, especially with traffic. Getting held up in the wrong spot would take a couple tenths off the lead and stuff. So yeah, definitely got a little closer than I would have liked, but Duna ran a good race, and so yeah, it was a fun one though.
Yes, sir. Obviously, congratulations on your win there, Jared. I first want to apologize. I've been brain farting your name through a couple times during this race, so I try to correct myself as much as I can. I'm trying to get everybody's name right, but you just happen to be the one I got most of today, and of course, you just so happen to be tonight's winner. So, obviously, congratulations on the win. And looking ahead, you head to Indy next week. How do you feel changing out these higher banks to a real flat rhythm track there at Indianapolis?
I'm really bad at Indy. So I don't expect to be doing much. I don't know why. I just can't figure out that track. I'm looking forward to the short tracks after that. North Wilkesboro, IRP, the Milwaukee Mile and Richmond, those are all more my style. I like short track racing a lot. So excited for those. Definitely not looking forward to Indianapolis next week. I think if I'm running mid pack, I'll be happy. So we'll go with that.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on it next week, and even more so, keep that magnifying glass. We start heading to those short tracks you're talking about. But with that being said, congratulations. We're going to hand over the mic to you for your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Yeah, just want to thank Vickers Auto Parts for the stage sponsors, and then Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill for sponsoring the league. I appreciate everything you guys do so that we can you know pay for you guys to broadcast and you know keep trophies coming for winners to keep excitement for guys coming into the league. It's really fun to run with all these guys, and it's fun to watch the broadcast back. You guys do a great job, and Tuna does a great job running the league. So yeah, just appreciate everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Hopefully next week, but low hopes for that one.
Well, congratulations once again, Jared. Win number 1 on the season. 6 last season. We'll see what he can do as we head off to Indianapolis next week. The pride of Washington, Jared Mann, the winner here at Texas. You heard everybody talk about the sponsors. The sponsors are what makes everything go around. And given such a awesome race here at the America 250 at Texas Motor Speedway, we didn't get a lot of cautions and a chance to talk about it. So I'd like to remind everybody the presenting title sponsor of season 6 here at the HPRL Truck Series is Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, is proud to support grassroots racing in the sim racing community. We provide fast, reliable automotive maintenance to help keep our customers on the road with confidence. From oil changes and inspections to preventative maintenance and vehicle care, we're committed to quality service in the Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania communities. Just like racing, vehicle maintenance depends on performance, reliability, and attention to detail. We're excited to support the HPRL Truck Series and the drivers, teams, and fans who love motorsports. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Leave worry behind. Michael, what an amazing race. 167 laps, 250 miles here in Texas. Wow. And here's the crazy thing that was only race 2 of this exciting season.
Yep. So far, another great race here in the books, and kind of the way we thought we was going to play out. A lot of shuffling around with a lot of tire conservation needed to be made here at Legacy, Texas. But overall, a great race. We saw early dominance there from the 43 of Caleb Sibbett, controlling both of those first stages, able to get those wins. And then we saw Jared Mann start to tilt his hand in this game. That long run speed that we had talked about all night finally came to fruition and able to go snatch that win away. And he's able to walk away a winner here as we load up and head to the Hoosier State next week.
Speaking of heading to the Hoosier State, let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule here for the remainder of season 6. The America 250 wrapped up here this evening, and now we head to Indy. Awesome schedule ahead. You'll see 19 points paying races, 15 in the regular season. Again, the top 12 will make the playoffs. The final 4 races are the playoffs. And I will just draw your attention. There's a red star in the middle of that schedule on September 3rd. That is the All-Star race. It is not a points-paying event. There's going to be more details coming out about this in the coming weeks, but I would just say pay attention. For those of you, Michael referenced fantasy sim racing earlier, that'll be a key factor as it pertains to the All-Star race. So if you don't have the link, talk to your favorite driver and watch future broadcasts. We want to get more people in to watch these awesome drivers partake in the HPRL Truck Series. Speaking of which, if you are a driver or are interested in driving, please reach out to us via YouTube here or search it in Discord or iRacing. This is a fantastic and competitive league, like you heard all the guys talk about. But Michael, what an exciting schedule still ahead of us here, the remainder of season 6.
Yep, definitely. We get past Indy, which is one of those odd niche tracks. I like to say it doesn't really line up with a lot of stuff that we typically race, and then we get into the bread and butter of apparently Jared Mann, but also maybe a couple guys that we'll see start to shine. That's short track racing, which is kind of what we saw tonight. Tire conservation. You're gonna burn off those right rears trying to drive off those short corners. It's gonna be tight racing, maybe a little bit of an accident here and there on those hard braking zones, headed left turns, but we'll see if maybe we can fire up some tempers here after we can get out of the Texas sun. We'll load up and we'll see you next week.
Indeed. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors, Jiffy Lube, the presenting sponsor, Vickers Auto Parts for the stage sponsorship, and Duna Electric for the pole award. With that, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody at the HPRL Truck Series and Veterans and Affiliated Networking, I want to say on behalf of Michael and myself, thank you for tuning in. Be safe this 4th of July weekend, celebrate, and see you next Thursday right back here at the HPRL Truck Series. Keep it between the lines.